So it's 6:31. We'll
Yeah.
call the meeting to order. Review agenda for addition, removal, or adjustment of any items for 1 BSA. Anybody have anything to
Yes,
add?
item, let's see, where is it? I can't see down here. There's so many items on this agenda.
know.
It's only because no, hold on. It's item 29 that is not ready yet. That's the goals. I need to dig into that a little bit further.
Sounds like I did the same as last year.
No, we did a bunch of stuff last year.
28 and 29 is what I was looking forward to.
Okay, so now we'll do the oath of office for the newly elected or re-elected Ian Albinson.
Because Peaker's got to do it later.
That's
He's
right.
got to do it next time. I, Ian Albinson,
I, Ian Albinson,
do solemnly swear affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully execute the office of Select Board
that I will faithfully execute the office of Select Board
within and for said town,
within and for said town,
and will therein do equal right and justice
and will therein do equal right and justice
to all persons in the best of my judgment
to all persons in the best of my judgment
and abilities according to law.
and abilities according to law.
I also solemnly swear and affirm
I also solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Vermont
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Vermont
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
If you could sign that, please.
Welcome to the select board.
So what do you guys do here?
Snoopy didn't beat
Nothing.
it.
I know, Snoopy did not beat me. Only got one vote for it.
We only got one vote.
Yeah.
Snoopy only got one vote.
Snoopy, really? I never think to do that. Mickey Mouse.
Right. Just
No,
doing
we
the.
had Ozzy.
Ozzy
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 got a vote for
Ozzy
it.
Osbourne?
Yeah, we think it was Ozzy Osbourne.
It's the only Ozzy I know.
Doesn't even
Alright.
cross my mind.
So then I guess you have to elect a chair.
Nominate Michelle Pearl.
And I nominate Peaker. I am, nope, I decline.
Okay, so it's Peaker,
Hold on.
second.
Yeah, I nominate Peaker. I don't mind doing vice chair, but I'm not doing chair.
Vice chair.
Hmm?
You do vice chair.
I'll do vice chair.
Because you're gonna run the meeting here in a few minutes,
Yeah,
because I
that's
think it's not safe.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a nomination for Peter.
And I second.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
That's great. I guess,
So do I say
Yeah.
all those?
I guess so, yeah.
Affirm.
Or any other nominations.
Nominations. Are there any other nominations? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Wait, he'll be-
Speaker's yelling.
You just texted me.
Motion passed.
There we
Great.
go.
Fantastic. We have a
And the
chair.
vice chair is Michelle, and I like the vice chair.
I like, nominate Michelle Pearl as vice chair.
Second.
All those in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
those opposed?
It wouldn't matter if I opposed, because
know.
I just
You're it.
outdid
You're
me.
Great.
There's only
Now
one
it's
vote.
No, it's your turn.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Appointment of a tree warden.
That's you.
Wait, that's me.
Do you still want to do
That's
it?
my name. Yeah, I love it.
You still want to do it?
I would make a recommendation for John Smith.
Second?
Any
Great
more
job.
nominations?
I hear them closed.
Hey.
Motion to close the nominations.
We're gonna close the nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Right.
You can leave if you want.
Right, I mean, you can. You want to give us an update in
I
terms of
did
how
want to
that?
give you a quick
Okay, that'd be
update.
great.
Just a super quick update. Of course, Valerie's gone, which is a huge bummer. No offense,
Mhm.
because Ian's gonna crush it too. Boy, what a help
He's
she
hoping
was.
not to crush it
Yeah,
for long.
only until someone is hired. Let me just
Right.
make that very clear.
So we all work together. Josh Bahunik, I don't know if you know
Yep.
this guy,
Mhm.
Josh, who's been absolutely
Yep.
instrumental, probably more instrumental than me. So I will give them all the credit.
Hmm.
I sort of am a logistics, pound stakes in the ground guy, arborist guy, eyeballs and recommendations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those guys are so involved, or at least Josh is, in terms of grant writing and securing money. That
We love
lets me
that.
do all my recommendations for plantings and prunings and removals and stuff. So I don't, you probably knew we got the $50,000
Yeah.
grant last year. We spent quite a big sum of that planting 30 trees, which I'm sure you've all seen, primarily along North Avenue.
Yeah. that's
Those
great.
30 mainly went on North Avenue. The
North
reason,
Street.
yeah, North Street, sorry, North Street. I was up in Burlington in my head. On
Sorry
North
to
Street.
hear
So the reason I did that is because of all the water work that's gonna be done on that side of the grid. That's gonna be North Street over to
Yeah.
Liberty and from Pine all the way down to Main Street. That whole area is gonna be completely dug
Yeah.
up beyond belief. So when I got those 30 trees, I was in a sort of a bind as to working with Steve, the engineer, and Jill. I think it's Jill.
Yeah,
the-
Jill.
The water,
Yep.
I call her the
Yep.
water lady.
The water, Jill, the
It's a
water.
water
lady.
operator.
And she sort of set me right, which is great to have her. She's an incredible resource to tell me where I can and can't plant trees. So the next, we did the 30 along North Street and some various other places.
You did
which
few
was
on
cool.
Pine, because that street's done now.
Right, so we did plant a number on Pine Street, some in front of, sort of near my house on 19, that sort of end of Pine Street, and then some other ones down closer to Liberty. But in any case, 30 got put in the ground, which I thought was a massive, awesome success.
Yeah.
The next go round, because we still have quite a bit of money from that grant, is gonna be, what I'm gonna go for is Elm Street and Taylor, because they're the next in line for the water work. I'm 95% sure of that. They're getting, the water main works happening on Taylor, and I think they do Elm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna meet with Steve. He's gonna dig safe, or Jill's gonna dig safe, tell me where all the mains are, I'll pound in stakes, and we'll line that with. What Josh seems to think is we're gonna be able to plant 50 to 80 trees this year. And I don't know if, I know, it's a good question. And
Because I
what
mean, the
what
whole
it-
water line, the whole next water line is all on the west.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what I would do, if, it's a great question, the where question, what I would do is make sure I know where the lines, where the digging is gonna happen on Church Street. Church Street, by the way, has one town tree left on it.
Oh,
The
wow.
big silver maple blew over on,
Right.
I forget his name.
Lawson, Frank.
Lawson.
Yeah, Frank's
Yeah.
house. There was a Norway maple that blew over on someone else's house, thus leaving us, I think, one street tree on that road. Isn't that incredible? So that's a huge emphasis. We could easily put 20+ trees on that road. And we can easily put 20 on Elm, and we could probably put, you know what I mean?
Shaking his head, no, you can't.
I
I
bet we
don't think you're
could.
gonna get
I
20.
bet we could.
There's a swath right in front of my house and I don't want that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're gonna, it was interesting, the Libanus, is it Libanus or Libanus?
Libanus.
Lodge?
Libanus.
Libanus Lodge, we had actually staked a couple of places there, and whoever
Right.
runs that joint said, no, you can't do that.
No, because they
Which was-
park.
Yeah, which was a good, easy, another learning experience for me. So I'm gonna try working, if I can, in conjunction with homeowners to make sure I don't put them in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I have the water mains to deal with, homeowners to deal with, and I'll do that. Because I'd still like to, to be able to plant that many trees. I think the village could use it because they're sort of falling one after the other. All the ash trees are gonna go. There's some declining, that silver maple fell over,
Yeah.
storms, et cetera.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of money to do that. I think 25,000 plus in that initial grant that Josh and Valerie and everyone secured.
I wonder, John, I know that, like, if we don't use the grant Monday, are we timed on when it has to be done?
Right.
Well, I'm
We are
wondering, can we,
I was gonna ask that.
do-
We are timed about.
we are-
Yeah, it's
time.
time, but that for this grant from last year, it's 2026.
okay.
So we have this year to really go for it.
Well, I know-
And 2026, I think it's not
Those
like
are the 3 or 4 streets that are gonna be done in 26.
from the water.
More,
I know, that's one of the issues. I agree, right? So I've
maybe you
got,
can baby piggyback them, get right behind them.
yeah,
No, I
exactly.
wondered if you could buy, like, prepay for them,
Right.
and
Maybe,
then, they
I
then
know,
say,
and then
okay, we'll
use
get
them.
them
right,
when we're.
once all the digging, that's my
Yeah.
idea, is to go around with Steve, the engineer, and also Jill, and to see, at least if I had an idea of where the main digging was gonna be
Mhm.
from the center, from the main line into houses, then I would know where to pound stakes for the trees. And I think that's not gonna be hard.
And I think in 26, they don't wanna wait like they did in Pine Street, doing September, October, they wanna do it April.
Right,
So
exactly.
you may have that fall good for
Right.
weather.
Yeah.
So that's the structure of like the tree, you know, the planting scenario, which is sort of the biggest thrust of that money. I mean, Brett, you saw these guys were cruising around the village doing all this line clearance. That's for GMP. And so that was an interesting thing to behold as they were selectively butchering the trees left and right. And what could I do? They wanted to come down my road and I said,
They came down
Um,
our way and I mean, they cut the trees, but then they came with this big, like chipper
Oh,
and just took
yeah,
it
one
all
of
of
those.
one and just
Yeah,
chipped
I know,
all
I've
the
seen
brush.
it.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like a
whoa.
sideways chipper along.
Yeah,
the road,
right,
you know.
yeah.
So you can't, I don't look at that.
You may wanna check with Jill and Steve. I don't think they're doing the northern half of Munsell Avenue, cause that's the
Right.
1974 line.
Right,
And I don't think Liberty Street
Okay.
is on.
you're right. Liberty
because
Street
That's
is
a
not
that's a
on that.
1980 line.
Right, I know that Liberty
I
is
think.
not on that, is
So
not on the
There's
main,
two trees.
which is
Trees.
good, so we can line, so that when I talk 50 to 80 trees, like I said, I still think we can find places for all that
places.
stuff.
Mhm.
Especially if we have little trees. The problem is sometimes we want to plant big trees, but then there's so much stuff above, there's lines.
Mhm.
We have to deal with lines, like power lines, and that limits our planting.
Mhm.
In terms of pruning and removal of trees, that's gonna happen. We're gonna keep that going because there's money for that too, and we're gonna keep.
Not out of that money, though, different money.
No, that can be used for that too,
That
because
grant
the
funds,
idea is to replace ash trees that are being removed. And so this year, we're gonna try to remove 2 of them that are gonna be that are on Pine Street right now, that are in various
saw
states
those.
of
Down
decline.
on the north.
That's
end.
on, that's
On
on
the
North
east
Street.
end, on the east
Right.
end, right there, yeah. I've
Right.
seen those two, I wonder, like Stetson's and, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's an easier and cheaper thing. And like, once again, I think that's gonna come out of the grant money
Awesome.
instead of Bristol Town money.
Jill says that Jill's statements are true in terms of those roads, and she says we want to plant them after the water project on the Bristol West Waterline project area.
Right.
So that's something where it's, and
It's
that
not
is,
gonna start till 2026.
I know,
so,
that's-
That's the problem.
That's what I might have a discussion with
Yeah.
her to not do. I wanna see what I wanna do. My goal is, once the weather gets nice and everything starts growing, is to walk Elm
Yeah.
Street with her and say, what do you think is my idea being like, I can pound in stakes and they avoid, you know,
right,
they're not digging here.
Mhm.
There's still a lot of green space in front of houses, right? And
Yes.
if that, at least, I mean, I saw how it worked on Pine Street. It's interesting.
I mean, most,
They dig those trenches and then you've got tons of space on either
But I
side.
think
Mhm.
if she would locate blue paint or a little ribbon
Exactly,
to where the curb stops is, because they're not putting new curb steps to the houses. I
right,
mean, they're gonna go to the curb stop and stop, so,
right.
But the people in the house may decide to.
but that
If
curb
it's
stop's
on.
not gonna change.
yeah.
Right, right.
Jill says
Right.
small ones on the side of the water line and larger ones are okay on the opposite side. Because
Right.
the idea is to plan it where you can do as much of your water line in green space if possible.
Right.
Because you're not digging in the road, or you're not, and trying not to crisscross the road as well.
Right,
I thought the last time Steve met with us, though, like, looking up West Pleasant, I think he was gonna stay right in the middle of the road.
Right, some
With-
are, I mean, every road is different.
Right,
The-
every
the-
yeah, like
the idea
Taylor's
is-
different, so what he's doing on Taylor is he's gonna go up the side of Taylor,
Mhm.
which was gonna go through some of my clients, people that I've done tree work
Right.
for.
And he talked about that.
And he's now gonna divert that around
Yeah.
primarily to save these 2 trees, because the homeowners were like, you can't do this, only
Yeah.
2 trees on the side. So he's gonna alter that, but you know, and that's gonna be like, that's what I told the homeowners, it's like, it's money to do that, right?
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
So,
I would recommend, connect with Jill
yeah,
and Steve. That's a big
Yes,
part of that.
exactly.
And then if you want me involved in that too, I'd be happy to.
yeah, I
We
might
can sort
have
of
you, I think the more the merrier.
Yeah,
you
just so
know,
we all
to-
know.
And if we all walk around and are all on the same page, it'd be cool, if that's possible.
You
Yeah, that'd be
mentioned, what, way back before COVID, we had that meeting up here with the state with the ashes, and we found 2 or 3 on the park too.
Yeah,
Did we?
They got inoculated.
Did they get
so
inoculated?
the one that's directly across from Cumberland Farms,
Yeah,
the one that looks really weird in the winter, that's inoculated. And it's being inoculated every 2 years, so that's part of the budget that's, I don't
Yeah.
know where that is.
But
or
there
where
was
it
a
comes
couple
from.
over by
Yeah.
Baptist Church.
That's been removed, so
Those
there
have
was
been
one
removed?
that was almost completely dead, and that's been completely removed.
So if you
And
remove, our policy is you remove one
Yeah.
on this park, you can put one on.
So we removed that ash tree and we replaced it with a sugar maple, that was a memorial sugar maple for Andy. What's her last name? Andy Glover. I forget her last name. Anyways, what's her name?
Where's she from?
She lives on Pleasant Street, on West Pleasant Street.
Oh,
Andy Dever?
Maybe.
I
I forgot her name.
remember the request, but I
Her
don't remember
husband
the
died
name.
like a few years ago.
Okay,
Mhm.
So she got
Oh,
together,
Jim.
it was,
Jim, Andy, yeah.
yeah, and they had
Gordon. Andy Gordon's.
right, Andy Gordon, that's right.
Yeah, her husband Jim. died.
So they got together and did an in memoriam sugar maple, which is in that area now.
Okay.
Which I supervised where it went, what kind of tree it was. It's not the ideal tree, but it's the one that made the most sense. And that replaced that ash tree
Good.
that we removed.
Mhm.
And that's where the green is good, but I'm gonna look at it in the green season when it leaves out, and I'll give my yearly free pruning of the green.
Okay.
Which I do every year.
Okay,
Great,
All right.
thank you.
well, thank you so much.
Sounds great.
All right.
thank you, John.
Any other questions?
No. You were very
Thank you, and
thorough.
we'll see if we can get 50 in there.
Appreciate
I mean, Chris is gonna be able to get into his
That's a short
driveway.
street. I agree with you. That's
We
a
park
short
on
street.
his lawn. That's why you know.
No, I know,
there.
that's why.
I'd like to see
I
it.
have like 4 huge maples out back, and I
Yeah.
have one big maple in the front, I want the one in the front gone, I'm just done with it.
Yeah,
I do have a tree service. So. All right.
Thanks.
thank you very
John.
much.
Okay, moving on. Designate a regular meeting schedule subject to occasional modifications. It is currently the second and fourth Monday of the month. Right now, we're at 6:30, but are we moving it to 7 summertime?
Yes. Joel made a suggestion that we move it to 7 for like 6 months of the year and switch it to 6 for the other 6 months of the year.
So what are you thinking? April through,
Yeah,
I'm thinking, no, December through at least April or
or
middle,
October?
or November
Well, it's really
first.
matter
Peters
of
closes the
peakers.
pit. Yeah, he closes the pit December 1st.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't want to start November. December, at least 4 months, December, January,
December,
February,
January,
March.
February, March,
We
do
go
6:30?
7. We go 6.
6.
I'd like to go either 6 or 7. I could do 6, but it's up to you, Michelle. I know you
No,
will.
if we're going early, and I don't know everybody else's schedule, but for me, it's 6, because then I come right from work.
That's
No,
what I
is that
said.
good or bad?
It's good.
It's
better
good
for
because
you.
I don't have to go
Okay, all right.
home first.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
just
so-
come
I
here.
like earlier too.
Okay, so 6
6 in the
PM.
winter
what-
months, I'd
so
like
what-
it.
What month?
So 6.
Starting when?
December,
December through
January,
March.
February, March.
So the
In
end of
8
March.
months at 7.
Okay,
December to March, and then the rest will be at
and
7.
then 7 PM would be
And
April through November.
And this will go in the schedule, so I don't have to remember it, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Just look at the agenda.
Yeah.
He's the one that's got to remember it.
good, good. As long as it's someone else,
Okay.
not me.
Good with that?
Yes,
Okay.
So we're
Next.
keeping it at the second and fourth.
Second and fourth, yep.
Yeah.
Except for like December and January when we meet every Monday,
well, but if we're that ahead in doing the budgeting, we might have to do that.
So May
And
and
I do
June will be
know
at
the
7.
the fourth Monday in
April, May,
May
June.
is Memorial Day, so.
Correct. There are
We
two,
always-
two holidays. that we
Actually, I
get.
think last year, did we do Memorial Day?
Oh.
Or we might have done Tuesday. We might have
We
done
did
Tuesday
too.
instead.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, designate official posting locations for the town. Currently, we have the town office, Lawrence Memorial Library, Bristol Beverage, Front Porch Forum, and the website.
I just wanted to add one of the banks, no
Mhm.
matter which one. They both got bulletin boards. They both got an ATM right by their bulletin boards.
So
Maybe
National
once
Bank
a-
of Middlebury or
Bristol
Community Bank.
Community Bank. And Chris goes down here, and makes it most every day, right?
But I don't usually go in. I do drive through.
Oh,
It's fine, we'll figure it out.
So, and
We
You
only
wanna-
need
you wanna-
3.
I know, we have a lot.
yeah.
Do you wanna, I mean, the library is easy because we just email it to the director or staff and
Okay.
they print it out, so that's nice. We print ours here, I think Chris or myself or Sharon usually drops it off at Bristol
Bristol
Beverage.
I could give you the email to the bank. You could do the same thing.
I mean, Community Bank have a bulletin board? Do you know where that is? I don't know.
Is it inside the
I ain't been
ATM?
in there since I stopped plowing it 20 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so we
don't-
don't know
I
if they
For
have.
National
we
I
Bank
don't-
of
don't-
yeah.
Millbury, they have one at the
Yeah.
ATM, but
Yeah,
And I can give you the guys the,
he can give you the
Email.
email address and.
if we
Send
can
it to
email it,
National
Oh,
then it's
okay.
not a big
Yeah, you
deal.
wanna just choose National Bank then?
Yeah.
That's
doesn't
okay
matter
with
to
you?
me, but
Let's do that one.
So we'll do that as a digital and
Yeah.
Yep.
put the responsibility on them to post. it.
Ask them if they will,
Yeah,
you know, but that's an
Totally
extra
do that.
space. We already have 4,
Yeah.
so.
okay, so Joe you will ask about that.
Okay. Designate the Addison County Independent as the newspaper of the record.
So moved.
it's the only one that has
Okay,
it done, I guess.
sounds good.
Well, I guess that's all we got. Authorized treasurer's office to process its weekly payroll and then with the select board approving warrants twice a month. Somebody want to move that one?
So moved.
Probably important.
Second? Do we need to vote
Second.
on it?
I don't, yeah, do we need to?
I think we just could do consensus.
Okay.
Okay.
Review and approve select board guidelines for member conduct.
Okay, so this is, let's just see. I can figure out what it's like. I was looking at the VLCT page and this is what they recommend. Let me just share this. It's a very simple thing that it's not required, but I think it might be a good thing to do. And it says we're pledging as select persons.
We do this. Did this
We
last
haven't,
year.
no, we haven't done this
No?
before.
We did.
This is a new thing. Where'd it go? Here it is. And as I said, it's not required, but I think it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, that sounds good. Except for the second to the last one.
Boy.
Remember that my behavior as an individual member impacts the reputation of the entire select board, as well as that of the community we serve.
In other words, don't get tagged for DUI because it'll affect the town and the select board.
I was thinking more like don't dance on tables, but.
In your official capacity as a select,
That's right, that's right.
select
Well, I
woman.
don't know, it says individual member, so.
Right, that's true.
And all I'm saying is to remember, it's not saying you won't do it.
Good point, good point.
All right,
Okay,
all right, people like that?
Mhm.
Okay, I will have that shared and, I can sign that for you folks.
okay.
All right.
View and approve select board rules of procedure.
Okay, so a couple things with this one. Our last one was, let's see, adopted 2021, and it's quite old. Let me share that. We can do a quick peruse of that. Again, I have a new one that is based on a more modern one that VLCT has provided. And I've updated it and I'll show you the changes. It's fairly similar, but it just makes it a little bit more modern in terms of the way that meetings are held and things like that. And I think because we haven't, looking back, the one that we have is fairly old and we just keep signing it each year.
Well, obviously, we didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Yeah, no, I know. But it details in terms of when the meetings are held, special meetings called by the chair. I mean, there's lots of information in here, emergency meetings, a quorum,
Mhm.
of what consists of, things like that. And there's that one. And then the newer one is, let's take a look. Fairly similar, and we can look through it. Yeah. So it has more information about the Vermont open meeting law that changed or was updated. And sort of details, it's a little bit more organized.
Okay, I don't read that fast. I'll
Sorry, yeah,
scroll.
I was already
I'm not-
done.
well,
I was already done. I wanted you to move on.
no, there's a lot in there.
Okay, so number 4, majority of the total members of the body constitutes a quorum. That means a
That's what
total
it
of
said
the
before.
5 or just total of whoever's present?
No,
Total
total of the
five.
body.
Of the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Five.
the body.
So with, yeah. You know, 2 of us left, now you couldn't have a meeting.
Right.
I'm with you.
Mhm. But 3 you could.
Yeah.
You could have a meeting, yeah.
Do we need to say anything about Zoom as far as,
I think it's in here.
okay,
I didn't think number 6, I didn't think chairs could make motions. I guess they can.
Yes, they
can.
can.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, they can make motions, they can vote.
I'm just gonna be in China over the
Okay,
summer, so I'm gonna
alright.
have to meet over Zoom.
Okay.
For like every meeting.
All right, and we've got. And my highlighted yellow is sort of the changes. Or in the VLCT, they had the parameters that you could alter in terms of a year, a month, or whatever. So these are the ones that I've updated for us.
Okay,
But there's a lot of similar information. It just details a little bit more thoroughly in this version.
do we have to, section 3.1, we have to fix that, add regular meetings will take place. Leave it at
Yeah.
2nd and 4th, and then
Correct.
we'll add in,
Yeah.
The
So that was
16.
based
months.
on, that was based on our previous one. So
Okay.
I'll edit that now.
So for number 3, that would mean, and number 3 under section 2, that would mean that sometimes how we change the order of things because somebody's here to talk to the board, we would need to make sure that we did that at the beginning of the
under
meeting.
the
New business, additional.
review of the
Changes.
additions of agendas, yes.
Unless voted otherwise, okay.
Yeah,
You'll change number 2, what you have highlighted to add in
yes.
the other ones, right? Okay,
Okay. And then, yeah, we'll do the time, obviously. And we can put it in our dates into there. Same with here, the Lawrence Memorial Library, Bristol Beverage will add in that 3rd.
Okay, so number 4 is for me.
Yeah, so in terms of
number
electronic,
4, yeah,
other
the
means,
electronic,
yeah. And that just covers all the new laws around that went into effect beginning of this year.
We're just, so let's say 2 of us were this summer.
Mhm.
We're both gone, Jessica and I are gone, and we're doing it by Zoom. And it calls for a voice vote. It says there, must be done by roll call.
Only if not unanimous.
Okay, only.
Yeah. Like if you can't tell by voice or you're unable to do voice,
Okay.
then you would
You
have
have
to
to
have
just
the
ask,
option.
okay.
That's right.
Okay.
This one in here in section 4, a member of the body may speak or make a motion without being recognized. That was with or without. We usually do without, but I guess some boards, you all is always been directed by the chair in order if any board member wishes to speak.
It's very formal.
Right. We're sort of more informal here.
Mhm.
Some require the do here. There was a do not in terms of requiring a second. We've always done the second, and I assume that we would want to keep.
I don't think
Keep
you
that.
have to get a second.
Yeah, apparently you don't need to do a second. A motion can be made without a second.
Well, because then you're voting. So I mean, if you're opposed, you just vote no.
Right.
You know, we've had where we've said, well, we want to discuss it, bring it up on the table.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, said, I don't support it, but I'll make a. motion."
Right. So you'd make a
Second.
motion, discussion, you'd then go into discussion
Mhm.
and then you vote. You wouldn't
You
require a
can't make a
second.
negative motion. But it doesn't say that anywhere.
Yeah, it does. It says all
Which
motions
one?
must be phrased in the affirmative, 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't down that far yet.
So I don't know, I assume we want to continue to do seconds. Okay.
Not that we always make a second before we start having
Right.
a discussion.
I mean, maybe that's it, to move stuff along in terms of not requiring a second.
I do like moving things along.
Right.
I mean, is there any time where somebody has not seconded it? Because if, okay. Because otherwise we don't need it.
Because a lot of times if you don't get a
It
second, you don't have a discussion and it
Mhm.
dies.
dies on the table.
Okay, and so there have been instances like
Yeah.
that,
Right.
okay.
I mean, if you make if you have a motion, you make a second, you have to vote on it.
Mhm. Okay.
I think that motion to limit, to end or limit debate will be entertained. Isn't it just saying calling the question? Like we do with the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess if it's just, you feel it's gone on way too long. I mean,
Yeah.
we're pretty
Well,
informal
right.
and we're pretty relaxed here, and we have, I think, a good board. I think in some cases, maybe it perhaps
do
gets
have to
more,
call it.
yeah, more heated or whatever, if there's a larger discussion or a bigger board, I guess. Okay, let me put that down here.
That number, section 5 is really a good one. You know, we have a select board meeting, it's in public, but it's not a public meeting.
Right.
Sometimes that's doesn't always fall through. Yeah, this number 3, meetings of the body are a limited public forum or a limited public.
Yeah, and then 6 talks about at the conclusion of each agenda item, before any action is taken by the public body at each meeting, there will be 5 minutes afforded for open public comment. And that's
Right.
normally what we've done in the past.
No member of the public may speak longer than 10 minutes.
And we can change that amount. So
I'm gonna start getting a timer out. And say, "So, sorry, your time's up."
this was, I think, a blank spot in terms of the 5 minutes. I put it in 5 minutes. Just feeling that was, most discussions we have that, and also then having a limit on it for the 10 minutes.
Well, sometimes you have people get up and up over and over.
Yeah,
again. It's like,
Because
okay,
the idea is
enough.
that you're keeping the meeting moving.
Mhm. Speakers may be asked but not compelled to state their name and address.
Right.
Well, you need to at least state their name because their name has to be in the
Yes,
minutes.
I think the name has to be there. The address does not have to be.
Right, but
In
you
the
said
past,
not compelled to state their name and or address.
right.
But
I think they
guess-
have to state their name. They
But I
can't be
guess if they
compelled to.
decided not, that they
Yeah.
didn't, that they wanted to be anonymous, you would just say anonymous town person
Yeah.
says.
But then how do you,
No.
because you're supposed to keep track of who is at the meeting,
Right.
You would have that list, but it wouldn't be tied to the
To who
meeting
was talking?
minutes, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember we ever had anyone who
Um,
didn't wish to say their name.
But if somebody does want to protect their privacy.
Yeah,
then-
absolutely.
Although we're recording. them.
Right. Yeah, we'll go down here. Yeah, so it's a little bit longer than the previous one, but there's lots of good detail, and it's very similar to our previous one.
Is number 8, we have to call each other select person.
Well,
Members of the body should be addressed by their official title.
yeah, we could take that out if we wanted to. Again, we're pretty informal here.
Yeah.
How much more is there?
The minutes.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Doesn't say their minutes must be recorded and voted, approved, less than a year out.
No, it
5
doesn't.
calendar days after the meeting, and then no later than 5.
Some of ours are going on a year.
No, I'm
We haven't
getting- I'm
approved
getting
the
rid of
draft.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And there you go.
Well, they are.
Should-
They're
should-
available for inspection within 5 days. They
Yes.
may not be finalized.
Should
but they're
it, so
available.
should number 3 say minutes must be available for inspection 5 days? Should say minutes either approved or in draft form must be?
I think it's open. I think most are probably are.
So we don't meet for
it's-
2 weeks, so we,
Correct. It's,
even
I think all,
tonight's meeting
all
is-
minutes are considered draft until we approve
Until they're
them in the
approved.
following meeting.
Alright.
Yeah,
But they're all.
we don't need to put
available.
that in there.
and generally, we receive the minutes. I follow up and see to try to get them within 5 days. It sometimes is longer. It's a hard deadline to me. It's not a lot of, huge amount of time.
It's not a lot of time. No.
Should
Um,
we change that or?
No, you
No,
have to.
you have to have
Yeah,
it in there.
that's the
That's
statute.
law.
Okay, then looks good to me.
Okay,
Fine with-
okay.
Or training,
Next, ready to move on?
yeah.
Review compliance with open meeting law training requirements.
That's the one we gotta get on.
Yep, so that's the one we talked about previously.
Yep.
There's also the,
Were you gonna get us the website or was that
Yeah.
already in the?
it is in the details that I've sent,
Right.
but I'll send that along individually. And I also have a list of people who need to do it within our different boards, things like that, which which
And then we
I'll
have
touch
to
on a
just
little bit
get
later.
you the certificate or whoever. the
Correct, or
certificate-
have it sent by email, and I can send
Mhm, okay.
more detail about that.
Okay, next, review compliance with statewide municipal code of ethics.
So with that particular one, yeah, the open meeting, oh, hang on. So there's two things here. The open meeting law is different training than the ethics training. The ethics training, that's the one I previously talked about.
Right.
That's the new one.
That's,
The
okay.
open meeting law is in motion at the moment. There's nothing really on the website, and I think it's according to,
Open meeting stuff on their website.
well, we do, but it's correct,
Mhm.
but it's the training part that's a little unclear. If you go to the state site, it talks about the training, but there's no link to particular training. And the last document that I found that's both written by the state and with VLCT is that it says the training will be coming at the end of this year. So I think it's something to look for.
End of 2025.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
so,
So it'll be December 31st.
yes, I know, so,
So we'll do ethics and then open meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
correct, yeah, so those.
So
those
the
will be
ethics we
training.
can do this year.
So
The
I-
open
yes.
meeting is to be determined.
Yes, I don't
Okay.
know what the open meeting training will look like.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
unknown at the moment.
probably
The ethics
more
we know,
about
that's all set up and ready to go.
When you can be in executive session, when you cannot,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Okay.
So part of this connection with the code of ethics is that previously we had our own
Mhm.
code of not code of
Code of
conduct.
conduct, whatever,
What
yeah.
did we call it?
Conflict of interest.
Thank you.
Yeah, right, conflict of
Conflict of
interest.
interest policy, which now the state supersedes that. Towns can still have their own conflict of interest policy, but it can't override the state's. So what I recommend is that we look at ours to see if we want to keep ours, or if we compare it with the states and see if it captures everything that ours says anyway. And if we had particular Bristol-centric things in our policy, we would just have that as a smaller policy that we'd approve. But as long as it doesn't conflict with the states, because it's brand new, we should be fine. But so it may end up that we don't actually need our conflict of interest policy because it will be covered under the ethics policy
Mhm.
that's statewide now.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Ready to move on?
Yes. Oh, sorry. You ready to move on?
Yes.
Designate select board liaisons to town departments.
Okay, currently, let me share
I'd
this.
say just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, I have one change I'd like to suggest.
And
No,
proud-
you're gonna like it. It's for Peter.
And if you gu- and maybe you
Because
guys
he only
wanna do
has one
something
department?
different,
That's
Right?
Currently, I'm both, myself as a select board member, I'm on fire and police. My
Mhm.
recommendation would be to have Peter handle the police department. If that would be okay. Then all of us have two boards.
I'm not gonna ask him that.
Right.
I don't think that he has a problem with that, other
Okay.
than he doesn't want to be involved in the negotiations.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if we
Right.
shouldn't. Michelle, what do you have here too?
I have listers and
Oh, I
so
thought I had-
listers and zoning.
I have-
Revolving loan fund.
Yeah,
I had the
listers and
listers.
revolving.
I thought
loan
I had
fund.
the
No,
listers.
sorry. Joel has listers, Michelle has
Planning
planning
and
and
zoning.
zoning and revolving loan fund. I
Mhm.
suggested the police only because Peter is a member of the fire
Fire
department.
department, right? He can do the fire department.
Right, but you do the negotiations in the union, that's why I'm thinking you give up one of yours and give up maybe the revolving loan to Peaker, or, I don't care, Michelle, just, you're
Let's
involved
just
with it.
ask him.
Yeah.
Let's ask him.
Yeah,
I would,
first,
I would
and
recommend
then-
Heads Police. He could choose not to be
Mhm.
part of the negotiations. They happen every
Right.
3 years.
Yeah.
And so I think we could get to that. If he's okay with, police,
Mhm.
then we could just decide that when we get closer to that happening again.
Mhm.
So that would be my only change.
So you're giving up.
Yes, just so we're even in terms of
We all had
each
three.
having
You had
two.
three,
I had
Yeah,
three.
three.
I have police, fire, and clerk's office.
cause I have three, listers, I don't hardly ever, and I have the water department and Addison County Solid Waste I'm on, but
Yeah, but
Right.
that's not one of our
It's
committees.
really not
Yeah,
one of
that's a
our-
separate one.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, moving on.
yeah,
Okay. 7, oh, we're late.
I know.
Public forum. Anybody out there who would like to speak about any non-agenda related item within 5 minutes?
You
Or
can
under 5 minutes, is there?
Use the chat or do the hand raising, whatever it's called. on Zoom.
Raise your hand,
your hand, that's what it's
please.
called.
Raise your hand.
I've never forgotten what it's called. Anybody out there?
I don't
Doesn't
see
look like it.
anybody.
Yeah.
Nothing, Jimmy? Okay. All right, department head roundtable. Let's do Brett. We'll do you first.
Thanks, Michelle. Just a couple of updates for y'all. So to date, the first 2 months of the year, the fire department, we've responded to 27 calls for service, many fires, which is not a good thing. On the personnel front, one of your agenda items this evening is a resignation by firefighter James Goodyear. Just like to take this opportunity just to acknowledge James and it would 15 years of service actually this month for James. But due to challenges at home and scheduling conflicts, he had to make the difficult decision to step away. Good news, firefighter Greg Slane, he just completed the Fire Instructor 1 certification program, which is a huge step in his fire service career. Recruit firefighter Nick Gilbo, he's completed about 75% of his Firefighter 1 certification program. We anticipate him wrapping that up in April-May timeframe. So very excited to have Nick as a full-fledged firefighter. Internally, the department, I conducted an informal survey at our staff meeting last week, just trying to seek input from personnel about current format of like our annual meeting as one example. There's been discussion about discontinuing our staff meetings during the summer months, and also snow removal responsibilities that we do at the fire station. It's very challenging trying to coordinate that. So I'm just, again, soliciting feedback from everyone to see where they end on this. Meredith and Bristol Core, they reached out last week and invited us to participate in the upcoming volunteer fair, April 16th. So we're very excited for the invite and participating in that, as I'm always welcome the opportunity to potentially recruit new people. On the special project front, I'm been pecking away at drafting an ordinance regulating open burning in Bristol for the select board's review and consideration. Since I seem to be the one who does most of the enforcement and deal with this quite regularly, I think maybe we as a town should consider having our own ordinance that's Bristol specific. So, but anyway, when I have that completed, that draft, I will certainly pass it along to Ian, or if town administrator has been hired by then, to whomever that is.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I'm also working on drafting like a fire department access road guide. I guess, I don't know, it would be for the design review board for their consideration to address access roads, private access roads and emergency vehicle access. This is something that I'm appreciative that I'm being engaged with. the time I'm engaged, I think should be changed, you know, because essentially when these come to me, I'm the one saying, yes, you can build a road, or no, you cannot. And I think people who want to either construct a new private road or expand one because they're going to add, you know, new dwellings are going to be constructed, you know, they should know upfront, you know, when they apply for a permit that, hey, just so you know, these are the regulations around private roads in Bristol. You know, I see many roads that exceed the national standards, you know, minimum grade. You know, the national standard is 10%. I mean, we got roads around here that are 20%, maybe even 25%. And when it comes to emergency vehicle access, that's presents many challenges. But you also have width, road width, and height clearance to consider. So again, just putting together some information for their. Is it the DRB that would have this information? That's a question.
Planning.
Planning. Okay, I will
Yeah.
get it. Tell you what, I will put it in the town administrator's hands, and they can route it accordingly.
Thank you.
But yeah, again, you know, this is appreciative of being invited to the table in these conversations because it's very important. But I just think the timing, I should be included earlier on and not here at the end when people are, I mean, particular case. So a person has reached out to me no less than, I don't know, 10 times in the last 7 days about wanting a letter from me. And, you know, of course, I walked this 1,500 plus foot long private road, which is not plowed, by the way, on Saturday to get my bearings and understand, because I don't see elevations on a map. And
Right.
well, it's just presents many challenges for me, presents many challenges potentially for the property owner who's trying to build something. And I'm potentially a roadblock for this person. And I should, yeah, I digress.
Brett, in some of these instances, is the state involved in issuing a wastewater permit in that, or like the state permit for a subdivision? You know?
I would defer to, I think, is Chris in the room? He would know better than I would. I certainly don't know the answer to that
State
question.
has nothing to do with it.
Okay, well, sometimes they do, because like when they did our development up behind us, the state had the permit and they said you have to have a turnaround, which they didn't put in, of course. But that's why I'm asking if there's some overlap at all. No.
I mean,
Okay.
unless it ends up in Act 250, which I believe
Right.
yours did, and that's why they have
Right.
oversight. It's not Act 250.
Okay,
It's all local oversight.
okay. All right.
The Vermont Division of Fire Safety has they've adopted a code, and it's basically the national standard for
Mhm.
private roads. And to date, it's worked well for me. I use it as a reference, but this is the first time it doesn't fit.
Mhm.
Because of some unique challenges with the topography up there. So
Okay,
trying to navigate this uncharted territory for me.
yeah, I would definitely, I mean, even if you need help, work with the planning commission.
Okay,
Because
great.
they can get in the Addison County Regional Planning involved and help with it.
Okay, thank you.
Brett, my recommendation would be connect with AZ, the
I
planning
actually
administrator.
copied you on the email. I just
Okay, fantastic.
didn't ask her specifically about that. Well, actually, I did. I guess I just asked her, does Bristol have any regulations around private roads? Because I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, they'll be able to tell you, not a problem.
Okay, all right,
She's
thank
on
you.
vacation all week, so
Yeah.
if you don't hear
Okay,
from her.
all right.
Yeah,
I won't-
AZ will be back next week.
Got it.
Okay, awesome. Anything else, Brett?
No, that's pretty much it. Pending any questions from you all.
Anybody have any questions for Brett?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No? All right, awesome. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Meredith.
Yeah, so like Brett said, we are doing a volunteer fair. We've reached out to a lot of organizations through Bristol and also Addison County, because we think that there's a lot of people who've moved to Bristol and the surrounding area who don't know how to reach out and become volunteers for organizations. So we are looking forward to doing that. We'll have a meeting on March 20th, but like Brett said, April 16th will be the volunteer fair at the Holly Hall from 4 to 7. So that's exciting. The Holly Hall is booked with rentals and programs for the full month of March. We just had a women's adventure film tour with 2016 Olympian Leah Davison, and she was there for questions and answers session. That was great. And then I just want to give a shout out to Aiden. It's really been great having him be part of the team, and his skill set for just improving and creating stability with our rec department has just been very thankful. So I just want to give a shout out. Other than that, we are just going strong and bringing more programming every day.
Awesome.
That's great.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you guys for helping with the, the childcare and all of that with the town meeting.
Yeah, that was fun. It worked out really well.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Bruce.
Did you all have a chance to enjoy this warmer weather that we're having?
No, I was stuck inside all day.
So with the warmer weather, you will see more people out. So just want to remind people to please be cautious when you're coming through the village setting, because I see a lot more people walking and riding bikes. That's about all I have.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
I'll-
Bruce.
I will piggyback on what Bruce was saying. I left this morning at 5:15 and 5 people on my street. One of them had a headlamp and the rest didn't have anything on except a dark jacket. Yeah, but they're out walking that early in the morning.
Wow.
Some ninjas.
There are two that walk every morning at 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
5:30, 5 to 5:30. That I see.
It's one in the garage,
Okay.
and they went by the house with a headlamp. So.
Joe.
Shed that kind of energy. Or did she
guys.
need to? Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Hey, so we are doing the water read this week because it's time and it's awesome outside. So you will see myself and Jay out to about 650 different spots to read all the water meters. The snow is pretty low in most spots, so we're pretty grateful for that. And just a reminder to anyone listening, if your touchpad is blocked or inaccessible, if you could unblock it, we would love that. Second, I was talking to a firefighter today who was saying they're getting ready to train on how to use a fire hydrant, and he was telling me the procedure, and I was like, oh, that's actually not the procedure as a water operator, given that you want to release all the air from the hydrant while you're opening the top, and you want to make sure that you actually allow the water in the hydrant to settle all the minerals out before certain things. So I wrote up a hydrant operating procedure just so that, and a why. So like why we're opening valves as we're opening the top of the hydrant, and why we're allowing the hydrant to fully drain before putting the caps back on. Just kind of like a why the procedure is as it is, kind of the steps and in which directions. So it elongates the life of the hydrant, and it reduces the likelihood of water getting trapped in a hydrant, or kind of like nasty little iron material kind of building up around the valve at the bottom of the hydrant, or air hammering. So I see Brett has his hand raised, so let me hit view on that one.
Yeah, thanks, Jill. Just for the record, a firefighter reaching out to you about hydrants and suggesting some operating procedure was done without my knowing. So any information you have for the fire department, please share it with me. Thanks.
Absolutely. That was 100% my intention, because I know you're the chief and I know that you'll share that with everybody. So I'm just going to write up the procedure in like a 10-step and explain why, so that it's I feel like I like to know how to do things correctly, but I also like to know why that's the way to do it, and how it's doing better for the hydrant and for the water system.
Thanks, Jill.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's about it for the very moment. We are, again, once this water read is done, we'll have quarters worth of data to be able to work on next year's budget. We've got an annual meeting to get ready for in May. And let's see, I think we're working with a couple other, one newer and one existing public resource, to try to continue to find additional funding for the water projects. So that as we continue to work on more eligibility for forgiveness, that maybe we could start pairing that with some other funding sources if they become available.
great.
Awesome. Thanks, Jill.
You're welcome.
Frida.
Sorry about that. I was actually joining to talk about the potential application for the municipal planning grant, which is coming up on the agenda. So just going to encourage you to consider the state input about that. I didn't know if Ian was going to go over that with you at that meeting. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be under consent, but if you want to give us just an update in terms of what's happening in your world.
Well, just all things grants and trying to wrap up a couple old FEMA things. This week we'll be submitting the application for the LWCF funds towards the skate park. And definitely on the hunt for more funding for Basin Street. So stay tuned for a grant summary sheet for that coming up soon.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you, Frida.
Yep.
Sharon?
Well, as you all know, we had an election last week.
You
We're
did?
gonna have another one.
And
Will we have a
we
runoff?
did have a tie on the library board, but one of the individuals withdrew, so we
Yes!
are not having a runoff election.
Thank God.
And as Jill said, we're gonna start the water read this week and all things catching up now that I can breathe a little.
Good.
Can you tell us who withdrew, like who was the new library board member then?
It's Peter Hewitt.
Okay,
Audrey Beckwith is the one that withdrew.
withdrew, okay.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Peter. Chris?
So it's the same boat, just playing catch up after a week of being out, but one of the big ones was cleaning up the police funds. After the consolidation, we had stuff all over the place and just years of
Neglect.
chaos, so I have a very.
That's a good word.
I have a very good grasp on the police reserve funds and their operating budget now, so.
Okay, awesome.
Could we get a report 2 weeks, our next meeting on revolving loan?
That was on my thing to talk about
Sorry.
during select board roundtable. We aren't there yet.
Careful, she's vice chair.
It's in the minutes now, it was
It's in all
Joel's
reality,
idea.
we can do a basic report. What info would you like, and then we can provide.
Well, probably who we have loans with.
Yeah.
How much,
Who's
how
recently
much
paid,
left,
who's
who's
behind.
paid,
Who's
who's current?
40 years out, that haven't paid in 30 years?
I don't think we have anything.
I just-
I mean, it's, yeah.
I mean, you've seen the reports before, it gives interest rates and.
We haven't
all
seen
that
one
other
in 2
stuff.
years.
Yeah, I haven't seen one
Yeah.
for quite some time, so,
That's what,
Okay.
Okay.
I'll pull something together for you.
thanks.
okay.
Thank you.
Everybody, right?
Yes.
Except for
Eric-
you, but
Eric's
we'll
not
get-
here.
we'll get
No,
you later.
not me. I wanted to make a suggestion in terms of moving forward on department head. If we wanted to designate a first meeting for a certain group of department heads, and then the second meeting would be for another group instead of just being random.
I brought this up earlier and I just said to Ian before we got here tonight I mean, department heads are busy. And here, no reporter, this, I'd like to, I broke it down into, we'll call it the first Monday or the second Monday meeting of the month would be public safety, fire, police, and roads.
I think
And then
that's fine.
so they all know, I
And
don't
then
have to
if
attend
something
tonight, I
happens
can.
before that, they would just send us an email or
And
something.
then
Yeah.
I might
the
include
fourth meeting,
water in that too.
you could put water in
Yeah.
there, that's public safety, and then, Frida, clerk, treasurer's office.
Zoning.
Rec,
And rec, yeah.
Zoning and
Rec and
rec, another meeting.
I
Okay.
think that sounds great.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then
And grant.
if there's something important, they'll bring
Yeah,
it to our
they're gonna bring it
attention.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't have anything, they just won't show up for the meeting.
Right.
Brett asked, would you accept a written report quarterly or monthly? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Although if it's in writing, then we can't ask questions. But
We can always email them.
we can always say if we have questions. Yeah, most of the time we don't.
Okay,
Okay.
so I can organize that for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay,
Did Chris were you saying something, Chris? Oh, just stretching. Okay.
Okay,
My
ready?
students do that to me too, and then I call on them.
consent agenda. Okay, Bristol Fire Department, accept the resignation of firefighter James Goodyear, which we just heard about from Brett. Authorize submission of a grant application to the Department of Housing and Community Development for a municipal planning grant up to 30,000 to support the PZA PC in informational workshops, citizen surveys, outreach, and notification costs. Approve the Vermont Trans Annual Financial Plan for fiscal year 2026. Approve the V-Trans certification of compliance for town road and bridge standards and network inventory.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda and accept James Goodyear's resignation with regrets, but I understand his.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. So this is the municipal planning grant. Frida, do you want to speak to this quickly?
I just wanted to say that I would encourage you guys to have a little bit of a discussion about this item because it came to me as, well, AZ was interested in going after these funds this year, specifically to do outreach, specifically in the flavor of how do citizens of Bristol feel about development? How do they feel about it now? How do they feel about where it's going? Where do they want it to go? And I would encourage you to consider the period of performance for this grant is 2 years, essentially. It's 22 months. Your town plan is going to be needed to be updated by this time of 2028, so in 3 years. So I would encourage you to really consider what your timing to go after this grant and for what purpose, because it's up to 30,000. It's not guaranteed. Of course, none of these grants are guaranteed that you would get awarded. They're competitive. So if you go after it this year, specifically just for outreach, which I think AZ's goal of getting the outreach was to use that data in your updates to your town plan, which is a good strategy. However, maybe combine both of those goals in one application so that you're doing outreach, which would naturally be part of that updating of the town plan. And that is how your town plan was originally done, was through this grant. So it would be a smart application to put forth. So I worry that if we put an application forth right now just for outreach, you may or may not get it. But furthermore, it kind of would tie up your chances and your timing of the town plan update with these funds. So in my personal opinion, I would encourage you to do the application, but to do outreach as part of the town plan update and do it as one application.
So do you think though that needs to be in this application? Like it'll be
Time,
outreach to help with the upcoming town plan?
right. Either way, the period of performance is the same. It's 2 years for the grant if you're awarded. So that would mean you could go after it this year and have your town plan updated 8 months early, which wouldn't hurt, or go after it next year and have your town plan updated on time and try to complete the grant 2 months before its period of performance completes.
Okay. Yeah, AC's back next week, so I can talk to them about this. And
When is this due?
The 31st of March.
31st.
Yeah.
So we have time to meet.
Yeah.
To talk about it the following.
And also, if AC wants to do mostly outreach in the beginning phase, I would be happy to get students and help with the survey and all that sort
Okay.
of stuff. So it might be better to save the money for, other like mapping and
Yeah.
things like that, more technical stuff. Although it's 30,000, that seems
But
plenty.
Frida, did you hear what Brett was saying about these long, we'll call them private drives or private roads that you go to, and we had a training session on it a month or so ago. We put them all on Google. And some of these roads are quarter to half a mile long or more longer. And you couldn't get a fire truck there if you tried to. You're gonna sit from half a mile away and watch a house burn in the middle of the woods. Is this something we could use this grant to help with if we got this 30,000 or no?
I did
planning
hear,
part, not-
yeah, I did hear his comments, and having worked for a lot of rural municipalities, my thoughts were that's stuff that your zoning should be addressing and stuff that your permitting office should be addressing when they're signing out permits, approving permits for driveways. There should always be site visits. They should be mandated to adhere to your standards, which are essentially the state standards. And furthermore, your zoning could really spell that out. I know towns like Heinsberg, which have really steep rural dirt road areas, and people love to build on top of these densely wooded sloped hills. And your zoning is a great way to address that and to not allow that in your town if you don't want it. If it's a danger, your fire hazard because they can't get to them to put the houses out when they're on fire, or if your EMS folks can't get there, it's worth a discussion, and that should be discussed with your planning commission. So I thought that was wise advice.
Okay, so do we need to remove this from the consent agenda?
I think
I
so,
would-
because I think it needs to be rewritten as Frida suggested, because I would hate the opportunity or to miss the
I missed the
opportunity of being able to use this for our
planning.
town plan.
Mhm.
I mean, I love the idea of doing it 8 months early. That sounds great.
Yeah.
But it would be at the,
Part of it
yeah.
too, early.
If you want to work with students and try to do that outreach more locally at a lower expense than $30,000, I bet you could. And it would be really helpful when next year we do apply for these funds for the updating of the town plan, and you can have some of that. We've been doing public outreach already, knowing that this is coming. So it would look good for the application too.
okay,
Good idea.
okay,
Yeah, okay.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
so
thanks.
we're gonna remove number 21, which is the grant application from the
To the
consent
next
agenda.
meeting.
So all those in favor?
Well, hold on
of-
one sec. I wanted to share the other
Oh.
documents, just so you can see them all.
Here,
Um,
so
I trust you.
They were online.
Okay, so you saw them all?
I
Well,
saw
on
them
this,
all.
okay, so there's this, which is the financial plan. Let's see here. Here we go.
And that's based on the budget we just passed.
Correct.
Right. Mhm.
So you're doing this calculation for each length of the roads.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe.
Change it.
He's changing the clock. That's great. He keeps looking over. And then making that calculation. And the sort of the comments in here, this is based on, I think Val has added these comments previously in terms of how to split
Yep.
the budget in terms of
Mhm.
maintenance. So I did all that calculation with a little help from people in the office here, and that's where we're at, which is
Yep.
very close to what it was last year.
Mhm.
And then we've got the, so there's
Road
that.
mileage.
Yep, the
No,
road
the
mileage.
bridging standards not looking.
Yeah, the
good
bridge
yet.
standards is very similar to last year. We do
It's the same every
meet and
year.
exceed the minimum, and we do certify that we have an updated highway network.
Yep.
And then the last part is the codes and standards. We're generally circling yes for everything, and I spoke with Eric to get the recommendations for roadway construction standards. 18 inches thick gravel subbase, additional 1 inches top, and then paved roads, you'll have 24 inches, or not 1 inches, sorry, 12 inches top, not 1 inches, and 24 inches for reconstructed roads. And that was approved. Eric okayed that on Friday.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. We're gonna remove number 21, which is the grant. All those in favor of the other three, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Regular business. We're here at 8.
I know, we gotta-
Appointment, reappointment of town officers and representatives.
Okay, this should go fairly quickly. Let me open up this one here.
Promises, promises.
We're gonna appoint all the ones who have already said yes.
Correct. Well, that's the plan. Let's see here. Okay, so I reached out, everyone in green. Very light green, are current serving members who have expressed interest in continuing to serve. Thank you very much to everyone who I reached out to. And all the very light orange are our vacant spots. Some had already been vacant, others were vacancies that very few members decided not to return. So that was very good. And then for the ones that are vacant, we'll just start putting it out onto Front Porch Forum and to other areas in terms of asking for people if they're willing to serve on any of these committees. Most are fairly full. There's a few, obviously, that have a couple vacancies.
I'd like to just slide down No, slide up to the planning commissions.
Planning commission's
review-
down below.
I'm sorry.
Development
Should-
Review Board or?
Well, both of those I want to talk about. Should we have some kind of a, I hate the word policy, but a policy that says if you serve on one, you can't serve?
Yeah, John's not gonna be on,
I'm not going to say any names.
but no, I'm just
gonna-
saying we have there's a conflict.
Right,
Yeah,
I
there
just,
shouldn't be,
should we
like,
have
something
that
like
though in
that.
policy?
We should
That's what
have
I'm
a
asking.
policy.
So we just say, sorry, we love you, you've got all the time in the world, but we don't,
Well, I think it depends on the board. Like if you're on the Development Review Board, you could probably be on the Bike Ped Committee or something like that. But if
Right.
you're on the PC board, you really shouldn't be on the Design Review Board.
right.
Well,
Because to me,
it's-
there's a conflict.
It's something that we're aware of. It's something that AZ is aware of, and we're sort of monitoring that. At the moment, there hasn't been any conflict. I mean, it's still a board that has multiple members in terms of voting. But we could adopt policy with regard to that if we had concerns.
I think those two committees really there shouldn't be people
Okay.
on both of them.
Okay.
I just think there's too much of
You might
a
want to
chance.
review them all and then, add to your conflict of interest policy, that way you don't have to have a new policy.
Okay, you call it a conflict, yeah, I'd be under the conflict of interest policy.
Mhm.
The equipment committee's all men now,
Oh, what?
all men.
It's always been all men.
Well, Ellen was on it too.
Oh, yeah, well,
Is she still though?
no.
No.
Yeah.
So now it's even.
Right, she-
Hmm, okay.
Yeah, you have to update. The equipment committee, just put.
Yes,
town
that's the one committee I haven't reached out to yet.
Yeah.
so, But everyone
You haven't
else.
reached out about it yet?
So,
Planning commission.
So planning commission is what, one?
We have and we have an
Okay.
interview this evening.
Oh, good.
So somebody want to make a motion to appoint the ones that have
I'll
said
make a
yes?
motion, we appoint the ones that've been contacted and confirmed they want to run again or stay on.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Hi,
Any opposed? Motion carried.
great. Thank you, and thank you everyone for
Okay.
serving again. Running again.
Consider appointment of candidate to fill the planning commission vacancy, Alan Repstead.
Hello there.
Hi.
Want to come on up?
Thanks for coming.
Yes, and thanks for being patient.
Oh, yes. We're only running 20 minutes behind. It's been
Yeah,
worse.
but we've been worse, yes. Oh, what's your interest in the planning commission?
Well, for the last 3 years, I've been in private practice as a therapist and it's pretty isolating.
Mhm.
And I'm used to being in the community more.
Mhm.
And so just feeling like I want to get engaged.
Mhm. And planning commission was your
Well, housing.
committee of choice? Okay.
If you saw, I don't know if Ian shared my resume,
Mhm.
which I shared, but I
Mhm.
used to work at the John Graham Shelter.
Mhm.
And so when I was there, I was on the committee that met monthly to discuss the vouchers and
Mhm.
looking at meeting the housing needs in the community, and I miss that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I'm a homeowner and a business owner in the community, and I figured I have time.
That's right.
Alan, how did you hear about the opening?
On the Front Porch Forum.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
so we did put it on front porch.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, that was my concern. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
the
again,
whole-
we have no detailed policy in terms of how recruitment happens.
Mhm.
But usually the town, I mean, it's a combination of things. Sometimes
good.
it's board members
Good.
supplying a name, or we put it out there.
Mhm.
I
as
mean, we've
often
had
as
some
we
people
can.
come say, well, there's a board member on that said, called me and said, hey, you got an
Right.
opening, you ought to, oh, that'd be a good
Mhm.
member.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure we get a broad perspective of,
Yeah.
everybody got a chance to see,
Mhm.
I didn't want to throw my hat in, or I do want to throw my hat in.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Did you get to watch any of the meetings or
I
did you
did.
go to anywhere?
Yeah, I
okay.
watched the meetings, I went to town meeting.
Didn't
looks
scare
like
you away,
A lot
huh?
of other board meetings. I did.
Is that good or bad?
Well, I was school board, so it was a little bit
Mhm.
harder, but.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
But I think this will be a really exciting time to be on it too, because they're, going to undertake this planning process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and there's just no housing. I mean, my 2 adult children who work full-time live with me still.
Mhm.
Oh, I know. Mine
Yeah.
do.
So.
My two-
Mhm.
Yeah.
It'd be
They
nice if
couldn't
they
afford a
could
place
afford
to
their
stay.
own place.
Or even rent their own
Or,
place.
yeah.
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 Mhm.
Well, it's a very good group of people
Yeah.
on the board at the moment. so,
Okay.
on the commission,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
You'll be joining a good group.
Do you have any questions?
For us.
I guess next steps, like, how do I know when and where the meetings are?
I can send you details and I'll
Okay.
connect you with Kevin Hansen,
Kevin
the
Hansen.
chair of
Okay.
that commission.
Mhm.
But I'll send you a letter just.
Yeah, they usually do it
Tuesday after us.
Tuesday,
Tuesdays
Yeah.
at 7.
and it's only once a month.
Once a
Yeah.
month.
Third,
the third
that's what I was
Tuesday?
thinking, it was the third Tuesday of the
Yeah.
month, 7 o'clock.
I'll send you details and you can join, you can come in person here or you can join by Zoom. It's
Okay.
it's a hybrid meeting.
Great.
Okay,
Fantastic.
Great,
And you'll
easy.
also,
Yeah.
part of that
Yeah.
commission is taking the Code of Ethics training as well, which
Oh.
is an online
It's
thing.
only 6 days.
We have to do that, but
Ethics training I've been
yeah.
through.
Because of the nature of
Happy
because of the nature of the committee, that's one of the ones that was identified by at the state level to be able to take that.
Is
So
there a cost to that?
there is not. It's just an online, it's 45 minutes, you click through and then you essentially send the
certificate.
certificates get sent to me as interim town administrator, and just so we have a record of that. And it
Gotcha.
happens every 3 years. So you'll just have to do it once and then
Okay.
3 years later.
We have to do it just once, I thought it was every year.
No, it's not every, it's
Every
every.
3 years.
Every 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
didn't make a
but I'll send you
motion to
details.
appoint Alan as a planning commission member
Second.
for till the term when?
Oh, yeah.
This term will be, let's
2027?
see. It's actually, it's 2026. It's
2026.
only a
It's
year for
only a
this
year.
one, yeah.
Mhm.
And
If you
then-
want to get out and run, you.
That's right, you have an opportunity to.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Perfect. Thank you very
Welcome
much.
aboard.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, consider appointment of board representatives for Addison County Solid Waste Management District.
I nominate Joel.
Second.
Does Joel want to?
Yeah.
Okay. Any
There's
more?
gotta be
dis-
two, there's gotta be two though, then there's the co one. Valerie was
Alternate,
the alternate.
yes. I guess the interim town administrator.
Yeah.
Can be
yeah.
Gets to do that, gets to be the
Yeah.
alternate.
Lucky me.
Okay, so Joel's the member and Ian, who's the co for now, until the new
Alternate.
town
Just
administrator
the
comes on.
alternate,
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Yeah. All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
So in this area, we also have one more for the Maple broadband. That wasn't included, that's not on our big list, but I reached out to Ben Scalostra.
He's on.
He's on tonight. He is willing to do it again. He's also on the energy committee.
Great.
So I think I would make a
Did I hear
motion.
that motion from them? Did you hear? it?
I heard
Yeah,
you
I
make that
said- I
motion.
said Great, as in, I mean, I moved that.
Ian just made that motion.
Okay,
So Jessica
I
seconding.
seconded.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you,
Thank
Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
Ben.
you. Okay, town meeting redux.
It's very good.
What's that?
I
It was
thi-
very
I
good.
think starting, yeah, I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's move on.
I think it was great
Well, I
you had
think-
that many people.
Yeah.
Yep, I was so pleased and, you saw me get up and just give them the amount of people who, that was their first meeting,
Mhm.
Yeah,
really
that was
impressed me.
really,
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah,
That was
I
the
think
first
starting
time-
at 6 made a huge difference.
Mhm.
Yes.
Food truck probably made a little, but I'm not sure. I think starting earlier really made a big difference.
Yeah.
And
And
maybe I don't know how,
Meredith said that there were about 15 to 20 kids
oh,
downstairs.
that many.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
they said 10.
There were 10 at the bulk, but then some other kids came in when those left. So they were saying like 15 to 20 were
Different.
unique kids,
Different
yeah.
kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I don't know. I think that's the first time we've had to stand up 2 or 3 times to count votes.
I know. Although I liked how we developed the strategy of like, I counted
You
one
count
side, you did
that
the other.
one,
and
you
who
count
could
the
get the
balcony.
top. Yeah.
But it was good. We all came within one of each other.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, from the people who have spoken to me, I think that was a big thing, starting earlier and having childcare, especially for
I do
parents who have
think,
kids.
Mhm.
no disappointment to Jennifer, but I don't think calling for a vote on the first thing that Bob brought up was legally we could do. All we were doing is approving the report.
I don't ever
The town
remember what
report.
that was.
That was the
He
Well,
had
this is-
he had three things.
And we need to check and make sure in terms of if those are, because there are some details that are hazy with regard to
What he proposed.
yes.
I mean, I'm not saying that,
Because that first
because said we're
article,
looking into all these things.
but the first article, you're right, is about approving the reports. It isn't about or discussing the
us work,
reports. It's
right.
not, I mean, he could have at the end, I think, other business, he could have brought those issues up,
Which
and then
is
they would have been
non-binding, which he
non-binding.
says.
Right,
Yeah.
so maybe we.
I
could
mean, I
just
wasn't
talk to
really thinking that
Jennifer, yeah.
when he was talking, but yeah, that's probably right. He probably.
I've had more people talk to me about the police department vote than anything.
Mhm.
About not wanting it or about
Not
wanting it
wanting
or,
it, no.
yeah. Not wanting
Not
it
going
on the,
townwide.
really?
Yeah, no.
Is that most people out of town, out of the
Yeah, they were all
village?
out of, and you saw that split that night.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Ones that stood up were all mostly in the village and ones that didn't were mostly in the town.
Well, you expect that, and it's
You
hard to vote
expect
on, it's hard to vote on things like that when you don't know what the numbers are.
Right,
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
it really comes down to PR and information.
right,
Yeah,
like
all
what
of
are the benefits, what are the costs,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, right now it's pure emotion and we're still dealing with data that's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
When
Well,
was the last
and
time we got information?
Well, and then
when somebody got up and said the Vermont State Police do a wonderful job,
Mhm.
have you called the Vermont State Police lately if you had a problem at your house? It could be days before you see them, unless it's life or death, like you're gonna say, you better get up here.
Right. So Article 1 is to hear the reports of the town officers.
Right. Yeah, so technically, I don't think he
I
could
mean,
have,
do we want to make that clearer next year in terms of what that actually means? Because to me, that's quite vague.
Mhm.
It is
Well, I
quite
think
vague.
we need to get an understanding of what it is, and then we need to make sure Jennifer understands what Kenna I mean, he could have made those presentations, but there
Yeah.
could have been emotion and, I think. So I
Right.
think we need to
So,
understand
yeah,
what that
you
means.
also want to find out, like, where can a citizen stand up to make
Make
a
a
motion?
Mhm.
Well, they made them at the end.
Right,
Those are
but
non-binding, anything afterwards is non-binding, so
It's
they,
not minding, but they voted on it.
do you mean more like something we do in our meeting with like public forum where people can just bring up an issue? It doesn't necessarily have to be one of the articles?
or to be able to do what Bob did, which is make an amendment or make a motion in expecting that.
Right.
I mean, we can make amendments to the motions that we've already warned because they're
Right.
publicly warned. I don't know, we're gonna have to check to see if his are
Yeah.
actually binding
I
at
would-
all.
yeah, I
If
would
he's
think-
allowed to make a motion that isn't warned,
Mhm.
that's just brought,
That's what I was concerned about. It's not warned. Nobody has any
Yeah.
idea he's
You know,
bringing that up. So
Right.
If that'd been on the article, and let's say, everybody who didn't show up at town meeting says, wait a minute, they're gonna vote tonight on whether to expand,
yeah.
non-binding, then I'm gonna come out to the meeting.
Mhm.
And so I just.
Yeah, and for that particular one, there's no detail in terms of, what the vote is. Are you voting by
I talked to them
Australian ballot or
afterwards.
are you voting in person?
Mhm.
There was no detail in his motion, so it's something like that.
And then he came up and talked to me afterwards when we were breaking down and stuff, and I told him, now with that concept, I don't support that myself, what you want. He doesn't want to expand the size of the police department.
Mhm.
He wants to keep it the size of it is and where it patrols,
Mhm.
but he just wants the townspeople to help pay for it, just like they pay for the sidewalks. And I'm going,
Okay.
Bob, that was.
So let's do, how would we, Sharon, how would we find out if what Bob
I'll
presented?
have to check with the Secretary of State's
Okay.
office. But unfortunately, when it comes to Bob Bernstein, he does this every year,
Right,
but
he
this year
does.
was the worst.
this year was because in the past, he hasn't put the motions and
Right.
these things on the
Right.
floor, so.
Yeah, he's
I
always,
think-
he's always
almost
had a
challenged
list,
it
a
that
list of
night.
things that he's presented, which is fine, but I think, yes. it's
But
the
usually
begin-
he just presents them.
Yes.
Right.
But
Yeah.
this year he went.
He went, yeah, and it's fine that he presents them, we just have to figure out whether he can go
Where
beyond
it
that.
goes,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, if he'd have gone to the police department page and said, because it's in the report,
Right,
Mhm.
and said, I'd like to
Give
discuss
some
the
article.
amount
Yeah,
and that, and it could have come through come in the back door that way.
right, right.
yeah, so let's check that. I mean, I think all three were fine. I mean, if we speak to the Secretary of State and they say, you're not allowed to do that, then none of them
None of them are
are
binding.
binding
I mean,
at
we
all.
only had one that was really binding, right?
Yeah,
Mhm. The revolving loan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not,
The information on
and
that.
we were in agreement. We just have to figure out what we can and what we
Right.
can't put in the report.
Yeah, which we can do. I mean, and that was voted as a positive, and also the
Department.
police was voted as a positive, the town manager versus administrator position. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll check on that and
Okay.
report
Okay.
back at the
Mhm.
next meeting.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it went very well. I think there was very good questions asked by everyone. There was very good participation. I like that it was an interesting split between, and we saw that, as you said, in the police, that voting, it was sort of half and half in terms of members of the former village who were attending, as well as people outside of the village attending the meeting, which was great. I don't want to see it where it's just all village people just
No, but
attending town meeting.
there is a miscommunication because I had somebody ask me, oh, we gotta pay for it, but we don't get the service.
I know, it's too big a question to ask just randomly by a member of the public.
Uninformed,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of work to be done.
yeah, so we'll,
Great idea.
yes. So work at that, but yeah, I think it was great, and thank you to everyone who worked on that. I know it was a lot of work to do all that, but I think hearing from multiple people about the public outreach was
Yeah.
huge. Like
Yeah.
everyone, I think people enjoyed the wide variety of people who were sort of posting about town meeting in
Yeah.
interesting ways. I think that really got people involved, and I think, we were maybe 50 or 60 away from being at capacity in the space upstairs, so,
Mhm.
which is great.
Well, it's a good thing Meredith and
Right.
Aiden
Yes.
took care of the
Yeah, they
upstairs.
did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially upstairs, all that
Yes,
work.
the public outreach was great. I think
Yeah.
that brought a lot of people in.
Yeah.
It's too bad it takes all that to get people interested, but
And I've had very
I'm
good
glad
feed-
it worked.
Very good feedback about the town report.
Mhm.
People actually
Yeah.
didn't understand it. I think more people are reading it. I don't know, it seems
Yeah.
like we have a box left there, but it seems like we gave most
We
of
gave
it.
most of it.
And,
most of
and we probably could have gotten dropped off more between Myron's and,
Okay.
Bristol Beverage. I just didn't have time.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, if they were
But they were
taking
both
people.
very receptive to letting us do it, so.
Great,
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're skipping number 29. That's gonna be
Yes.
next
I have
time.
lots of notes.
Well,
for
so
next
if
time.
we don't necessarily have to skip it, I can't present anything at the moment, but I think if you want a discussion about it, let's do that. And I can take that back and sort of work through.
Maybe we should move it to the next meeting,
Okay.
just looking at the time.
Well, the time, again, these are my recommendations. It's not like we have to race through this,
No.
but I know that I'm trying to make these
What's
meetings more efficient.
I'm just assuming that the next meeting would have less on it since we've taken care of all of this. Is that not
Right.
necessarily true?
It's a combination of things. So we might be talking about the livestock, we might be talking about the water. There's various policies that we have continued to work on that need to be brought back. We also have this sort of bigger discussion about water in terms of that project. There's lots of different things. So, and then stuff, as the 2 weeks progress. Part of this position is, because it's administrator, a lot of work goes into doing the agenda for the board and presenting that kind of information. I mean, I spent a whole day doing it. I'm pretty efficient. And so it's like, that would be one aspect of the town manager position that would work better, would be more efficient because you wouldn't have to be presenting this amount of information to a board every 2 weeks. So, but just, I want people to be aware of it's a tremendous amount of work to put this, and I'm not even doing a town administrator's report. That would add,
Yeah, I don't know that it's necessary. You actually have to do a report.
well, I think for me, my thinking is like the report is in the meeting, and we have video recording of the meeting, we have very good minutes, so that information is there. Val's was amazing, but it's the amount of time,
It took her, right?
not just like creating the meetings and doing it, because as stuff comes in, you're sort of balancing where to fit everything. There has to be a cutoff, but you're still then collecting all that information, so.
Well, I've always said that, the Thursday at noon, or pick a time, but
Yeah,
not Monday at noon, you get to change the agenda. or
no,
If something's
No,
come in,
Val-
I'd like
Val
to
didn't
see the
do
board
that.
tonight. Well, they meet in 2 weeks. Tonight's
Yeah.
agenda has been set as of, we
Yeah.
close the books on Friday on it.
but even when you have that cutoff, it's still
Yeah.
tremendous amount of time to present stuff,
Yeah.
and put it all together.
Well, I guess what I'm wondering is,
Sure.
like, maybe if we all have ideas that we want to share.
Yeah.
We could do that sort of over email just to get a list,
Yeah.
so that
What-
then.
Can you send us the current goals that we
Yeah,
have from last
so,
year?
yeah, what Val would do is it was a 2 or 3 page document, and it would break down every month. and what the meetings would generally consist of.
Okay.
Some things we know we're hitting because we know the water's coming up in terms of talking about that budget. We know that other things too. So those, I just haven't had a chance to go through and sort of update them to what we might be doing and also.
Right, or
connect
take
them
out
to
the things that have
projects.
already been done.
That's right. Yeah.
But I haven't, and Jill's, I've not so, haven't had a chance to talk with Jill, her and I've talked this weekend, but on a different project, is, I'd like to see us before the, May meeting is to come up with, okay, we know we wanna do the, phase 2, the west.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in 3. What if we get a big fat goose egg every time from the good old federal government, and they don't give us any money, and we get everything done by 2030, what would the standard water rates be? If, I realize you can't get it to the nickel or even to the dollar, but you know, are they gonna be, my $85 gonna be $195 or $495? That's where I would like to see us.
We can.
Or then say, you know what, because you only bonded for 20 years, maybe we bond for water improvements for 30 years, if we can. And then
40 years?
It's
It's
30
40
or 40. So we can definitely calculate that. We know what a rough idea of what the
Yes,
projects will cost. We bonded for 3.9 for phase 2. It's probably gonna be about another 3.9 for phase 3, and then phase 4 is a question mark. There's obviously a pretty large dollar. So
Right.
we've worked at, it's probably around 10 million. So we could calculate what the water rates will be at 10
14
million
million.
without any
And
forgiveness.
benefits.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be a very
put that-
high number, and I
put that
don't
10
wanna
in-
scare people in the water
Right, no,
district,
no, but let's be
myself
realistic.
included.
Let's be
But it's
realistic.
coming,
Yes,
It's coming.
so
Yes.
it's better to have that number and be
It's better to
realistic
know
about
the
it.
worst case scenario.
Worst case
right,
scenario.
that would be that's right, that would be the worst case scenario. At the
Mhm.
moment, what we're seeing and how we're working with the people at the state, it seems like we are within that to be able to get forgiveness. And and along with that forgiveness, which would be 40%, we have a 40-year instead of 30, and then we have 0% and not a 2% finance charge.
Right.
But we also need to get, even if we got that, and fingers crossed we do for phase 2, we also then have phase 3, which is another 4 million. So we need to get it again. And I think we're gonna fall well within, or we're gonna score very highly because of our project. We scored very highly with Pine. I think we're even higher for phase 2. Phase 3, I don't see that changing in phase 4, but you still need to be able to get that. You've got your debt now from phase 2, but we still need another, ideally, if we get forgiveness, half of it, you still need another 2 million. And where are we gonna get that? So that's.
Well, one of the last things why I bring that up is because I got something from Becca Balance today. You guys probably got the same email about congressional spending.
So that's, yeah.
And there's one from last week from Peter Welch.
Haven't got either one of those.
I don't think I have.
I'm
And
obviously
it's-
not on their email list.
Maybe it's something we
Yes,
could,
so that's something we could look at.
we'll look at.
That's definitely a possibility.
But those gotta be in by, I think it was the end of March, sometime middle of
Yeah, and it
April.
depends if they're around, because these projects are so long, and we're 3 or 4 or 5 years for this project to be done. We're really looking ahead. And that's why also too, like, starting to work on the water budget, that's gonna affect what our budget is going forward, which affects our,
Right.
Yeah, and well, and
The
all this is gonna
availability.
be effective whether there's gonna be federal funds available,
Right.
period.
Right, at the moment, talking to
So sure.
the state and for the DWSRF, it seems like those are still available, but
Could
it's
change
still,
anytime.
that's right, that's right.
Well, I was
And hopefully all
at
that
the,
settles down and you have a
Right.
little bit more.
when we
calm,
opened the
but-
bids or walked the property 2 years ago now, almost 18 months ago. It'll be 2 years in June, I think,
For Pine,
for Pine Street. And that state guy got out of his car, and we walked along, and he told Jill and I and Steve, oh yeah, you guys are gonna get 50% here. I don't see any problem with it. And his 50% was a big fat.
I know.
Mhm.
I know, yeah, we all know that, but I mean, we're paying much greater attention, and we're talking to multiple people. We have what the state
have the
uses to
calculations, right.
calculate, yeah, so that's,
But we could also maybe talk about a local option tax too.
right.
Right.
but there are different ways of doing it. And so I was going to suggest maybe that I could do a little bit of research to see what the range of variation is,
That'd be
like the
great.
places that have it, what exactly they tax and how, if they earmark it or if it just goes into general
I
fund.
know some of them earmark it.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Brandon just started one last year. And I think I'm not gonna, with all great numbers, but I think 40 or 60% of it has to go into capital improvement,
mhm.
Infrastructure.
And where was that, Joel?
Brandon
Brandon.
just started there.
Middlebury just had one on there.
Yeah. that's
Middlebury.
the article I
Middlebury has
have. Yeah, the
Middlebury's
Middlebury.
had theirs for a number of years.
They've had the downtown business tax.
They were,
Yeah, but
what- so,
they added something.
no, what they were doing this year was to remove the limitation of when it would end.
Yes.
They wanted to make sure it continued.
Yeah,
And it was
that's right.
a number of
Yeah.
years out, it was like
2030.
2027 or something.
Right.
And they said, oh, the vote is to remove that so it can continue.
Of course, Burlington does,
Yeah.
Williston does.
Heinsberg has one now. No, Heinsberg doesn't have one, but Jens does. I just did.
Yeah.
I just did Green Mountain Power bills today, put them all in the system.
I mean, I think it would be a really good thing for the town. I think we just need to do the research and present it. But I think it could be very beneficial, you know,
Okay.
and in terms of the water project, that's an enormous project.
Exactly.
It's only a small amount of its total budget, but every little helps, especially with money that we don't have at the moment.
Mhm.
And we know won't be brought in by water district payers, just because, you know, you're trying to not have those amounts go up by huge leaps every single year. And so
Right.
any other source of funding is gonna benefit
But you're
the
gonna have to be
project.
careful with that, because if you do that, you're only benefiting those water payers and not.
Right, so then,
The
and
towns,
again,
but
that's that
the
big,
rest of the
that's
towns,
that
so
big
there's
discussion.
There's a fine line, yeah.
Yeah, how do you divide that?
I
And also
yeah.
too, money that this brings in other money then is available for that
Available,
particular project.
absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
so that we wouldn't have applied for using grant funds or
Yep.
whatever.
So I can do a little bit of research and just put together sort of like a menu, like what are the variations that we're seeing, just so we'll go into it knowing what the options
What options
are.
are. Mhm.
And then we might, at that point, we might want to talk to people in those places. Like if we
Yeah.
see one or two really good models that we like, we could then,
Right.
talk to them.
Like Middlebury's across the board, it's on everything.
Mhm. Right, yeah. I
Any
was-
sales, I mean.
Any sales.
Any
Yeah,
sales.
it's
Except-
room, board, alcohol and sales, so it's like
Mhm.
everything.
And but
It would be easier to do it that way in some
I know,
respects.
except I don't like, I would prefer to tax things that are luxuries, like if it's sales, does that count, like the grocery store and stuff like that? I
No,
wouldn't.
groceries is
No,
not.
groceries
Okay.
are
Okay.
excluded.
Good.
when you were saying it was on energy, is that correct, or is that,
It's not on if you're a resident, but if
Oh,
you're a
okay.
business,
oh, interesting, okay.
You pay a local option tax.
you pay the local option, local option tax in Brandon we do, and in Middlebury.
Huh, okay, interesting.
Huh.
All right, so
So what does Green Mountain Power then bill you that 1%?
It's right on the bill.
Right on the bill.
After
And then what do they
state
have to
tax,
turn, they turn around and send a check to the town?
No, it goes to the state of Vermont, and the state of Vermont gets 40%. That's another thing, the 40% of the collection goes to the state of Vermont for collecting it for you. You
Mhm.
get 60, I think it's 60-40 or 70-30, it's not below 30%.
Okay, so I'll check that out.
So
too
they
and
gotta get their
see-
little hands in the pie.
Well, I'll check it out and see if that's across the board
Yeah,
or if there's
I'm
a
sure
way
it
to
is.
keep it local.
Because if they have to pay the sales tax, they've
Right.
just added to the
There's no
state.
way
I
to
don't
keep
think
it
there's no
local.
way around. I'm betting, no. But,
So I
okay.
can't go around and just collect money from people.
The state wants their money.
I'll just wear a vest.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Tax
All right.
collector.
Okay, are
So
we ready?
that's- Oh,
Go
so,
No, go ahead.
so I was going to.
She's the one that's always saying,
No, so
Move
I would like us to do that one. We're going to.
okay, you're keeping track of this to add to your goals?
Yeah,
And I can
Okay.
email you too,
Yeah,
but, we're going to work on the police district.
Yeah.
Which I think will be good, but I was also, hoping either I could try to do this, or I don't know if maybe Chris could help, or just somebody to take the call logs and put them into like an Excel spreadsheet so that we could.
The
like,
police call logs?
Yeah, so that we could sort them by sort of things you need a police officer to do versus all others. I think Bruce
Bruce is the
calls
one that
it
keeps
like,
track of all that.
right,
This is
he
his
calls it,
police log.
right, he calls it like community policing,
Yeah.
right, or community something.
Okay,
And so if we had that kind of information, though, I think that we could then see per month what else is going on to see if there's a way to move that out of the police district or have somebody else do that type of service. Because, you know, what we're running up against is that for the size of the district, the budget is getting big, right?
Mhm.
So you can try to expand the number of people who pay into it, or you can reduce what the police are doing if there are cheaper people to contract those things to.
okay.
So I think if we could have a little bit more data about exactly what the police are doing, that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Okay.
And does he collect it?
Bruce is on. if you want.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe he can answer. Does
Yeah.
he collect it in another format? Bruce, I don't know if you can hear us, but do you collect it in any sort of format, or is it just like the logs that you send to us?
Our database, you can generate different reports.
Oh, great. Okay. So if we sent you then like sort of information we'd like to see, that you could then send us a report?
Yes, we should be able to.
Okay. And that's not extra work for you. It's a database, so it'll do it automatically.
Well, you have to put the parameters in or whatever. So there is a little work to it, but once you set it up, it should be able to generate things without too much effort.
Okay. Perfect. More information is better, so that will be helpful. And then I was also hoping that we could maybe talk about starting budgeting earlier.
Yeah.
And we had talked about doing that, so maybe starting over the summer.
I think we'll do a wrap up of the full year,
Mhm.
2025 FY, and then we'll then move to sort of looking at, I mean, ideally you'd be looking at the budget reports each month, so that's gonna help us. I
Yeah,
think we do a final wrap up to sort of look at the comparisons in terms of what our budget was, what the actuals were, so we had all 12 months. And then we would want to decide when we want to start getting into budgeting for the next year.
Yeah, I thought we kind of talked about August, September.
I know,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
But you're
good.
also gonna be working on setting tax rates and stuff, so
Right.
that's primary,
right.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
August, hopefully.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Well,
The
I-
grand list is done. then.
I would, and also,
And we should have the.
The grand list has to be done by April 1st, doesn't it?
Well, that's when the
That's
cutoff is.
the cutoff,
for
yeah.
Closings. The actual
They gotta have the
grand
POs.
list is typically the end of July before they get it done.
Okay,
Because they always go for an extension.
Yeah, and we should have our audits by then as well.
yeah,
Fingers crossed.
that'll be so.
For the last,
Well,
for the
yeah,
last,
they're-
for the last
they're
2
here
years.
tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Or is
That gets you to know your day is tomorrow.
That would be so nice though, because then we'll have all this extra information and
Yeah.
we can ask questions and get answers to those questions, you know? I
But
think
I-
it'll-
but then I'd also like to, now that we moved to Ian's format, and I like the format that we're doing with the budgeting,
Okay,
is if we start in September, let's say we'll pick the first meeting in September, we allocate some time to say, okay, what are we gonna give? The biggest expense in this town is salaries.
personnel.
And we do that last
Mhm.
instead of first. Are we gonna give, I'm gonna pick a number, 4% or 3% raise. We put them all in and say, okay, now the budget's already gone up 4%.
Right.
The tax rate would go up 4% based on the grand list that we just set the tax rate for last year.
Mhm.
And then we could say to the department heads, okay, you've got so much to, buy your salt and asphalt and rec department stuff and those types of things.
Mhm. Or you could go back and forth a little bit more where you ask the department heads to submit like just an early draft about what they think their budgets will be and then see what's left over for salaries. What does that mean for the increase? And then if that all works, that's great. If not, then you go back to the department heads and say, they need to reduce.
And also, if you start in September, remember, we're probably still processing bills from the previous year, so the numbers will keep changing.
Mhm. But even just looking at the historic data would be good, because Chris, you were saying that we would have more data than just the last 2 years, right?
I mean, so it depends what you want. So if you want to use the software and not go through all the gymnastics we did to move numbers around, no. Their generic
Yes.
report is 2 years.
Yeah.
Just 2 years.
Yeah, and breaking it out, like when we broke out the departments, the way we did, that was.
Manually editing.
Yeah, manually editing.
Really?
And we
So
risked.
you can't just run reports.
Well, we're gonna design it where we can at least group all the personnel related things and the associated benefits together.
Correct.
So we'll be able to,
Does
we
now.
can run reports individually for each department, which is what the board asked for. We initially didn't have that, but we will have that going forward. But it's still, we only have the 2 years of history. That's what it connects. I mean, we have more because we have the previous reports.
I mean, we can check with Nemrick, see if they're willing to write us a custom report. I don't know what the cost would be.
Yeah.
But we can find out.
I'm just saying, you take your largest expense,
Sure.
start with that instead of
So
the end.
highway.
Right.
Well,
No, I mean, but it's all salary. Add a number to it. and
Right.
say, okay,
But the only reason I mean, I don't know how you guys normally do it, but it doesn't seem like there's like a review process where people have reviews and then so that everybody is being evaluated sort of in similar ways. And then there's sort of a, like, good is a 2% increase, excellent is a 5%. It's not like that, right? So it's just.
Never been.
It's never been like
performance
that.
based.
Right.
In fact, I've been here 7.5 years and I've never had a review.
What?
Yeah.
If somebody has a problem with me, come tell me now, but.
Anyone on Zoom have a problem with Sharon?
It's just
Who's out there just
Well,
checking?
and there
I've
hasn't,
never had a-
there hasn't been reviews since COVID. I mean, I know that
Sharon's been here longer than COVID.
Well, I know, but I
I'll just
know that
remind you.
Val
I've been here that long,
had
sir, I've
done
never had it.
some
Yeah.
prior to that, and I have no
Yes.
idea what her
But then
process
what
was.
I
Oh,
worry
yeah,
about.
Teresa, I think did.
But what I worry about then is it just like
It's
somebody who advocates really hard for their people and they're like, they all get 6%, and then somebody else who's like, oh, I want to be careful of the budget, so I'm only gonna,
They can recommend 6%, that doesn't mean we agree with
No,
it.
but you know what I mean, like,
I mean, ask the four of us.
we don't have any way, it isn't equal across departments, it's
We-
just based
It's
on whoever
not,
the head
honestly,
is.
it's not equal anywhere.
Last Monday night.
Like, not like this.
Like, it's
Full
like,
support.
not
Last
in
one-
here, not at my job, not at a lot of jobs, there's no.
Well, we'd have to
Unfortunately,
decide,
there's no real merit
is
case.
there a particular avenue that we want to go down and explore
Mhm.
with regard to that? I think not having assessments on people that's on the town, unfortunately. And I think that needs to change, because I think it's a positive thing for everyone involved.
Even
you
just
know.
But I
really
also think
basic
you
one.
need to tell them as you go along and not wait
Exactly.
at the yearly.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Which a lot of places do.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why didn't you tell me 6 months ago? you didn't?
Exactly.
Right.
No, it needs to be
Because
done.
if you don't have
earlier.
that, you don't have the communication with your staff, no matter
Right.
what staff position it is, about how they're doing throughout the year.
Mhm.
What are the things you're really enjoying? What are the things you want to explore? If you don't have that, then it's like. You
They
just get
haven't
people-
fired me yet.
Right, and that's not the mentality you want,
But
you know?
at the same time,
But
look at the size of our departments.
Yeah.
I mean, rec, there's 3, highway, there's 5.
Mhm.
And this is where they're directors.
Mhm.
In the general admin area, there's 5 with the town administrator. So these aren't big departments,
Mhm.
so we know what we're doing.
Right.
I mean,
And I'm not.
Chair's not doing her job,
But what we keep saying about.
you know it.
But the elected positions are different.
Right, but,
Right.
and I'm not suggesting that we do some sort of like really formal review process. I guess what I saw during the last process was that one department head would come in and say, everybody's awesome, they should have 5, 6, 8%. And then another person would come in and they're just like a frugal person, right? And so they would say, everybody's doing great, we should give them 2%. And we have no way of telling, like, if that makes sense or not. So we could do it 2 ways. One way is to know what people in that position normally get paid and just benchmark it, right? So that doesn't matter about performance, it just matters you're benchmarking against other people who do that. or you can do some sort of performance, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. It could simply be, you know, could you rank somebody as excellent, good, satisfactory, needs improvement?
I'll tell you the difficulty with that is
Yeah.
because you'll get people who say they're all excellent, because they don't want to give somebody a bad
And
mark.
then what we'll say is, that's great, but can you rank them in order of their excellence? Who's number one
I
excellent?
think you're putting a lot of pressure on them and they.
Last Monday night,
But how else do you
the
decide?
voters approved about $3.5 million. And about $3.5 million came in front of this board. I don't remember hardly a line we cut out.
Yeah. And it's
I don't
not,
see a line that we cut out.
and
that
I
we
don't
said,
mind increasing
do
it
we
when
need to
people are
spend
working hard. It's just,
that
it felt
much?
so random. It just felt
No, it
like,
wasn't, Jessica, I'm not talking about the staff.
oh,
You know, we had the one for, okay, the lines.
mhm.
Eric spent $1,200. We had 7,000 in there, and I talked about. We didn't cut it. We didn't cut a thing.
Yes, we did. We cut some stuff.
I'd like to
But
know.
we
where.
didn't, we
They
didn't
inflated
delete,
it.
We didn't
we
cut
didn't
$10,000
delete
out of
lines.
a $3 million budget. We didn't cut $10,000.
We reduced some of the capital funds, like you
Yeah.
wanted money in the
Well,
tech committee, and we cut that down.
Well, those
So we
are-
cut stuff down.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't delete a line.
But if we start in the summer, maybe we would have a longer period where we could try to really figure these things out, because I agree with you. I thought there were some categories that are clearly overspent every year, and so we should adjust that. And then there are other columns that are underspent, and we can say like it all comes out in the wash, but when I read a budget like that, it makes me upset because you just wasted my time with some fiction. Like, I want to know that these columns are, you know,
when you
right.
say, well, they're overspent, before I'm gonna add more money to it, I wanna know, can you tell me why it was overspent?
Right, exactly.
Did we have a washout? Did we have,
It's-
I don't wanna keep picking on the road.
Right, no, but that's a
You
big
know?
budget. But this was one of the things that we had talked about, is that if we can start doing the budgeting earlier, maybe we can also check in about, like, normally at this time in the year, how far has this budget been spent? Not that it's like a limit, but just like an indicator. So if roads, for example, spends usually 70% of their budget by April, but by February, they've spent 70%, that we could step in and say, hey, is everything okay over there? Like, what's going on?
The budget reports that I sent out at the end of last month give you that.
They do, perfect. So maybe
I
we
mean, we're
can
not-
start having that.
We're not
Would
gonna
it,
have a surplus this year in the highway department, by
Would-
no means, because
no.
we've had such a tough winter.
But would it be possible to do it, like, what makes sense? Would it be like every month that we could see that,
We do
or?
it every month.
Maybe I
when we
didn't,
close the
maybe I
books.
didn't.
Yeah,
budget
there's
it
a-
into my Gmail account.
So could those be shared with the select board too?
There's
Sue?
either,
I did this last time. I
Okay, good,
shared them with
good.
everybody, including PD and water and sewer.
yeah.
Okay.
The budget report.
Mhm.
I just
Good.
said Ian, I said, I don't remember getting it.
Oh, no, it wasn't sent to the select board.
Oh,
Okay, I was like, I didn't
I
see
said,
it
Oh, maybe I
either.
just sent it to you and expected you to send it out.
Well, you sent it, you
Or
sent it,
include it.
yeah, you sent it to a bunch of people, but,
Yeah, I
But
sent to
yeah.
all the department heads or whatever, and
Got
then
it.
Valerie used to include it as part of your.
oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, if you just forwarded it, that would be
We
great.
haven't
I
had
know.
one in a long time. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, there's that and just seeing your basic balance sheet.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. So you
Will be
can see
so
where you
good.
are.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
You got anything else on that?
No,
list?
that's it. Michelle.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think doing
Jessica,
the
I
end of the
beat
year.
that up.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
that,
put it
that
on the-
timeframe, we really got out.
You put it on the agenda
Hey, we're still
and I'm
running.
gonna use
We're
it.
doing really well.
Okay, review and approval of past meeting minutes. I reviewed them, I set my changes to Ian, so I'll make a motion to approve the past meeting minutes. I didn't look at yours, the
Second.
ones you sent us for the last meeting,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna
Second.
approve those yet.
Can we
Okay.
insert between of and past, put all?
No. She's
Yeah.
working on them, she's got, I mean, these
Those
are
are,
all.
I mean, the ones
those
you
were all
approved, these
old.
are all 2022 and
2022 and
2023.
23.
There's
so.
like, there's one more that where there isn't a,
Video,
no, where there isn't a, minutes on the website, which is from 2022, I believe. But all of them are in draft form.
yeah,
That's
And I think most of them we have approved, they just haven't been switched.
okay, so I made the motion,
I seconded.
Right.
okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. Authorize warrant and liquor tobacco license.
So that's updated.
The warrant is
Did everybody sign?
93-08401-09, sorry.
Yeah.
We don't have any tobacco.
Oh, we
We
do.
do. Oh, I was gonna say, I expected that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put it in the,
Excuse me.
with the email for the updated, check warrant.
Oh, I
We
probably didn't
have
look at that.
Shaw's, we have Nomadic Chef, we have Snaps, we have the Tillerman, and we have Wesco, which is Champlain Farm. So the tobacco licenses are the Shaw's and Wesco. Those have not only liquor licenses, but tobacco too. And the other three have all liquor licenses to some extent. Two or three of them.
Do we have any limits on snaps?
No, we don't. They're usually.
Or nomadic?
Well, I think they have limits on when they can have stuff out. It doesn't say on, does it say on here?
No, I was just curious, like, sometimes, some of them we say you can't have it outside, or if you're gonna have it outside, you have to have it
Roped off.
roped off.
Yeah, they know. Yeah, 3 tables in front of the restaurant closed in with chain link and stanchions.
Okay.
That's on there.
Is that for snaps or
That's
nomadic?
No, that's for snacks.
Okay,
Nomadic is.
nomadic is right next door. Right, nomad is the
When-
one,
Nomad
the old
has
Bristol
further-
Village store, the corner store.
Yeah, she doesn't have an outside.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
just
The
the
only-
person with
The only
her.
times they've done outside, they've asked for permission to use that
Right.
alleyway and close
And
it
then of
down.
course Tillerman,
That's what I was gonna ask about Tillerman's. They have outside.
They
they
must
have
have
too.
outside, but they're, I don't know if any of their, let's see, that's third class.
That's on their grounds.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Correct.
patio on the south side of the inn and lawn area to the east of the inn with physical barriers in use at all times. Wooden burn to the northwest of inn and lawn area to be included. And outside consumption areas with physical barriers in use at all
I
times.
wonder what the physical barriers are. So I
It's
go by
mostly-
there, they have a
it's
10.
chairs, it's chairs, yeah, but still, it's
Okay.
chairs up.
Do we need, you need a motion, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, somebody want to make a
Make a
motion to
motion to accept
approve
those.
the liquor and
Liquor
tobacco?
and tobacco.
Okay, for Shaw's, Nomadic, Snaps, Tillerman, and Wesco.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Okey-dokey. Select Board Roundtable. Jolie.
You sent us something in base camp. Maybe it was part of it for, I don't know. Monday, I guess it was, yeah.
Mhm.
The bike and pedestrian did an interview tonight. Bob,
Like
You-
Ted.
Mike Ped, you had him down as with Alan, but he didn't show tonight. Yeah. see,
What have I been doing? Yeah,
Didn't see it on the agenda, so.
no, I think it was after our cutoff time.
Okay, because I saw her and she
Yes.
showed up tonight. and I'm
Yes,
going,
I think it was after the cutoff time.
Okay,
Didn't
not a
get back.
So that's somebody who is gonna do bike and.
Oh,
Bike ped.
you know what it was? No,
Oh,
the initial one was, Bob had sent in a form that had both that and core. I confirmed with him. I said, do you want to do both? And he said, no, it was just core. So that was probably,
Oh,
that was an
okay.
old,
That was before.
Okay.
old to do. but I
Okay.
didn't check it off. Sorry about that.
all right, it's all right.
I'll check it off, make sure it's not on there anymore.
And, I don't have anything else.
Okay, Jessica.
I met with the Bristol Elder Eagles, which is what I
Saw
came
that.
on stage to tell you about and totally forgot and couldn't remember for the entire town.
Maybe
meeting.
you should be, are you in that group?
Yeah, next year, I guess I can be. So it's over 50, right? So.
I'm hoping to get there.
So I met with them. It was a really good group. It was a big group of people. They had lots of questions, lots of comments. We talked about the town administrator versus town manager. They also wanted to talk about the police district expansion. And then, was there anything else? Oh, and then the local option tax. So basically it was like the things that came up during town
Town
meeting
meeting.
that mostly people wanted to talk
Mhm.
about. And then I asked them if they had any concerns or anything that they wanted the select board to know. And they didn't, although a couple people talked about just sidewalk maintenance, like mobility concerns. Just saying that a lot of times they feel like it's safer to walk in the streets. So that was it. So it was a good meeting though. And so it'd probably be a good idea for one of us to go, maybe once a
If I knew
year
when
or
it was, I
something.
would love to go.
Yeah, I just emailed Jackie and said, do
It's
you
usually
want?
during the day. or
It's
early
during the
morning,
day,
like 10
yeah.
o'clock in the morning on
So
a Friday.
I-
So I don't mind doing it because I don't teach on Fridays.
25
Um,
hours overtime.
That's great.
last 2
Yeah.
weeks at home.
That's great that you went. I mean, that's good representation. for us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then for the only other business that I had in my headspace was the library, but you sent the email about the rule changes to them so they know what they need to change.
Correct. Sharon and I worked on
You guys,
that
right.
research
Rule
from the
changes for
Secretary of
what?
State. Well, so the library board updated
Their bylaws.
their bylaws, and they made some significant changes to the trustees side of how the Board of Trustees is
Mhm.
voted on.
Mhm.
So Sharon checked with Secretary of State, I checked with the LCT, and a few of the changes that they made are actually not legal.
Right. I was gonna
And
say- I
so
was gonna say that.
we sent them the details about that. And
Okay,
then
good.
they're gonna be hopefully revising those. And I've asked them to work with us and send us a copy of their revised bylaws, the new set, so we can take a look. And it's just, I think everything else in the bylaws was okay. I think just the trustee side was the
Mhm.
one that needed some work and needed
Okay.
updating.
And so they're gonna follow up with you guys. I don't need to try to attend the next
Correct.
meeting. Okay.
Yeah, they're
When
gonna,
is their next meeting? I'd like to attend.
It's usually Tuesday.
Is it
Um,
tomorrow night or the following Tuesday?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up, or
Yeah.
maybe Ian knows.
I don't know if the company.
Ian, I did that for Michelle. I did that one thing. When you said about the sidewalks, are we putting something together to put a bid out for sidewalks for the summer?
I haven't worked on anything yet,
I know,
but
it's
that's not to say I'm not gonna work on it.
no, I mean, it's,
It's getting late.
contract, yeah, we should,
No, I know.
because we can't
They
do,
do in the
we can't do
airport
300
sidewalk,
feet
though.
every,
Right.
They
every
are.
4 years
Mhm.
and think we're gonna catch up. We need
Yeah.
to do, whether it's 200 feet every year
Right.
Right.
to make that.
I
goal.
think the problem that a lot of people were talking about is just that for the sidewalks that haven't been maintained, they tend to dip down, so all the snow melt collects in the middle.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes a sheet of ice and people are just afraid of falling. Which I go home, on the East Street sidewalk, the unrepaired side.
The south side of it.
Yeah, and it's an
It's
adventure. Yeah, exactly. And it's like sometimes I step in, water up to here, other times
Yeah.
it's ice and I skate. There is the other side of the street. So I mean, at least East Street has that option of like one good sidewalk. So if the weather's bad, I usually cross the road and walk down
I
that
usually walk
sidewalk.
down the good side. of
Yeah, exactly.
Pine Street, I usually take.
The good side, huh?
Good side.
Right.
They're both good now.
Okay.
So, but that would be something, I don't know, maybe if Frida, if there were, I don't know if there's like AARP money or if there's any sort of like, like public safety mobility, like I know AARP.
Accessibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AARP was doing this big campaign
Yeah,
about like
ARP
walking
has that.
and,
It's very competitive,
oh, it is,
Yes.
I
okay,
mean, that,
but
The
not to say
job-
we can't apply.
right,
the last time we did a sidewalk was East Street, the
Mhm.
north side. And you could maybe look at that Valerie specs and
Yeah.
stuff and, pump it out there and say,
Yeah.
Well,
we
you
also-
have to be careful
location to
because
be
the spec,
determined.
the spec she put in didn't have the border thing
Yes.
around it. Remember that?
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
have
so
to
we'll be
make sure
careful
that
of
has.
We
to
also
be-
have Airport Drive, that.
Right,
project
that's
is-
gonna be
is
done this
moving.
year.
right, which is great, that'll
Will
be
be done
good.
this summer, Airport Drive.
Supposed to be done this year, I thought.
I don't think not this summer, it'll be
No.
later.
So see, I wanna do a couple hundred feet of,
Okay.
somewhere in town to get, we're never gonna get caught up, but we're gonna
Right.
just keep getting behind.
Local option
Do we
tax.
still have free coffees?
His
No,
report.
we have
No,
a much more
I think a
updated.
month.
Yeah.
The
college
college
did
students
one.
did, right?
Yeah.
College students
They
did?
did it, and then the Bike and Pedestrian Safety Committee went and did an update.
Yeah.
Valerie
So we
trained
haven't
them.
updated.
Well,
Yeah.
and then you wanna factor in your water project as well, you don't wanna do a new sidewalk. over and tear it
Definitely
up.
not, yeah. Although that would be a good way to time the sidewalks, right, after you dig
Well, that's
them
what-
out.
that's
you
what I'm
know?
Right.
To me, the one from the corner of Munsell going up West Pleasant to Maple is one of the worst ones. Half of
Yeah.
that from Munsell up. And I guess I will have one more thing, Michelle, is where are we at with the drainage on Munsell Avenue?
I was gonna say.
Huge, there's a huge pile there, a puddle of water there,
Mhm.
right at the stop sign there, by the, coming from west, stop at the first stop sign.
Although wasn't that gonna be taken care of? I thought
Thought-
Steve talked about that with the
I
water.
don't know exactly. I got to-
Yeah, we
I could
talked
talk
about
with
doing
Steve.
that in conjunction with the water,
Right,
doing,
right.
I'll find
doing
out.
the,
And are we not-
stormwater
did they
drainage
say
stuff.
we're not doing, no one's slapping with water?
From the corner of Munsell and West Pleasant North, that's a 1978 line,
Okay,
going up to Drake and Smith.
but south from
But
west.
south.
South, that back is.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
because
So then it
that
could be
needs to
addressed.
repaved.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Over this weekend, just so we go.
okay.
but that'll,
Now-
that
You
will,
done?
Now I'll show-
but that will be smart for us to like, time those things.
Yeah.
anything else?
No,
Okay,
those are my two things, library and Silver Eagles.
Ian?
Nothing for me.
Okay, so we talked about the revolving loan fund. Lawson Lane, do we know, are we getting anything from them? Are we sending them bills? Are we doing anything with them? I mean, has anybody made a payment?
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
we've had
we-
one. payment.
one payment, I've actively worked on that.
Okay.
I'm building up to send an email out to the people who haven't paid. Because we were behind on that, we won't do a charge because they haven't paid at the end of December. And I found the
Original
spreadsheet, I have all the loan documents and stuff, or the agreements, the
Yeah.
contracts. I found the spreadsheet that Val put together and I did the recalculation. The person who paid actually paid a different amount because of the way that the calculation was. There was some back and forth with a couple extra things that weren't charged. So I figured that out. And so now it's at the point where I just need to create the email to send to people as a reminder and move that going.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm
great.
working on that. I'm also want to work on need to work on the West Street slope repair. We have a few properties that have a,
I don't think anybody's paid from them.
no,
No.
they haven't, because they haven't heard anything from us in
So I
a
thought-
good couple of years.
Oh,
I
gosh,
thought Lawson-
okay.
I
And
thought
the
Lawson
rest
Lane
is the
was,
one
they could pay per
property.
year or pay at the end, one-time fee.
For what?
Say that again?
Lawson Lane, I thought it was left at, they could pay by the year, reduce their payment, or pay, I'm gonna pick a number.
No, they were
At the end of
supposed to-
5 years, they had to pay it up fully.
No, it was a choice. You could pay, I think it was quarterly, or you could pay a lump sum. For the
Right, that's what I'm saying, the lump
Lump sum
sum,
for the
Yeah.
year.
oh,
For the year.
No.
for the
I mean,
year.
we would gladly
Of
accept
course, right?
the full amount in 5 years,
Okay, I
but
was on-
it
I
was
was under the
designed
impression
as,
The lump sum was, okay, if I owe $5,000 in 5 years, or $1,000 a year, I'm gonna pay the five in 5 years, I'm gonna save up.
yes, there was no extra charge. The amount was the same,
So,
whether you paid it immediately full or if you took 5 years to pay it.
Brett's hands up, is that up from before?
So-
Yeah, Brett, you had a question?
Yeah, if it's appropriate, I just, your comments about the West Street property owners in the slide. So prior to Valerie's departure, we brought it to her attention that that bank is sliding again, the work that was done. So just make sure that's on your radar before you start going after money.
Okay, thank you,
might
Brett.
have to ask for more
Thank you,
money.
Brett. So, no, so I'm serious. So if each property at Lawson Lane had to pay $5,000, and I think that's the number that I remember. If I own one of those homes, can I wait for 5 years and pay, here's my $5,000? in
No.
5 years?
You can either pay up front the full amount, or you would pay quarterly, or you would pay by the end of the,
$1,000 a year for
by the
5
end of the
years.
year.
Okay,
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
and that's part of the agreement.
okay,
And if you don't pay, it becomes tax, like a tax lien on.
Right,
Correct. And there are interest charges or
Interest penalties,
penalty fees. Yeah.
Okay, the only other thing I'd like to talk about is, and whether it's tonight or sometime, is our delinquent taxes. I mean, I know there's one house that has $35,000 owed on West Street. I mean, I don't know whose house it is, and I
I do
don't know if it's
know,
the
I could-
town. The town would like the property or not. I know the other big one that Sharon's working on. Which is the one down here, the estate. But the other
Well,
one
we
is,
have 2 estates, but I don't think he's 35,000. They
that's
made
what I
a
saw in the
payment.
police report.
police report, you
I
said.
mean,
Town-
town
town
report, I'm
meeting
sorry,
report.
town report. But, and anyway, I mean, I don't know how many payments how many,
Yeah.
Right,
payment plans we have, are they keeping
I've got
up,
some
or do they
information
just
on
keep
that.
getting farther
I'd
and
rather
farther
not make
behind?
public.
Mhm.
I got some information.
It's
I'd share with
public
No, I'm gonna,
information.
I was hoping this week, by the end of this week, to contact the law firm and start whatever we needed to do, because the law has changed.
Yeah.
So, but most of the ones that we had that need to go up for tax sale have been delinquent
For years.
long enough that we can do them. So I just need to
Okay.
find out.
I was
Are-
just, when I
are
looked at the
people
town
living
report, we
on
have
these
252,000, it's like,
Yes
Well,
and
two
no.
of them are
Okay.
estates, they are not.
Okay,
That one down there is lived in.
Yep.
We have.
is that an
3 or 4
apartment or is
are
that a full
just
single
property.
family?
Yeah. 3 or 4 of them are just property.
Mhm.
They're not, they don't have buildings on
Well, those
Okay.
are the
And one
ones,
of 'em I
those are
know.
the ones that do the tax sales.
Mhm.
them. Yeah, and one of them, we have been able to, his mail keeps coming back, so I don't even know where he is.
No, Bruce might be able to find them.
Yeah, but he doesn't live here.
Still might be able to find them.
That's true, some sort of like person
I would
search,
say-
right?
Check that,
So for a property like that, that hasn't been, no one is paying the taxes, then there is a way to start a sale or some sort of
We'd have to do,
proceeding?
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
tax sale procedure that you have to
Okay.
follow. Yeah.
Because the ones where people are living in them,
doesn't matter, you can still do a tax.
Doesn't matter.
I know, but
Yeah.
Jessica,
But they're not
steal
paying.
your heart. This is
No,
money
I
that the
know.
town,
But if
town
we
loses out
can-
on and somebody else, where,
I know, but I would.
where do we
pre-
get the money?
If we can like initiate tax sales on properties or places where people aren't living first.
No, you have to do
Doesn't
it equally.
Go
across
after the
board.
largest.
Yeah, you can't pick and
Yeah.
choose.
No.
You can't pick
Yeah.
and choose.
And
I just-
unfortunately, we've had agreements with some of these people and they're just not making the payments,
I see.
Okay,
so.
I mean, the whole discussion at town meeting, I mean, the people that aren't paying, they don't care about the interest or the penalty. They're just not paying, whether they don't want to or they don't have the money, it doesn't matter to them. But
Not that we wanna own these houses, but, and of course, if there's bank loans on them, the bank's probably gonna bid on them.
well, let them bid.
Yeah.
Then they have to pay the taxes.
Fortunately, some of the ones with that, because so many banks are requiring escrow,
Mhm.
some of the places that were in arrears is caught up because
Oh,
the bank
good.
is.
No,
paying
that's
it.
fine. As long as they're paying, somebody's paying.
But I don't know if this one, I don't think this one.
There's
here on
probably not
West
a
Street,
mortgage on it.
No.
Yeah.
Cause they're
it's-
going a bit too long.
I think I showed Joel and Peter, I said, this one's got $35,000
Yeah.
delinquent taxes. I was like, holy crap.
I got some information I'll give you
It's
later.
like, so,
Okay.
okay, all right, that's all I had. All right. Interim town administrators report.
A couple of updates. We have, Frida asked a question about the library grant. Hang on, let me get to my folder here.
Is that
Um,
the state?
The ARPA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
ARPA or
Oh.
MERP?
No,
MERP.
MERP is the
Form of
energy-based one,
Yeah.
but it was for Holly Hall. The library is ARPA.
Oh, okay.
And so, let me just get.
Oh, is ARPA money they got from us?
No.
No, separate,
Oh,
separate
okay.
From the state.
Vermont
Mhm.
libraries. Or the, let's see, so we asked,
That was like 480,000, wasn't it?
yes.
Okay.
Was it from the state or
400
federal? I can't
440,
remember
it's
now.
federal.
Okay.
So we asked in terms of the grant specialist at the Vermont Department of Libraries, what's the potential of that money not being available? And they said, as of right now, funds are not frozen. We are proceeding as normal. We're hopeful there are no impacts to this program. I know it's not great.
So can
However,
you say,
no.
can you send it to us right now?
Yeah. However, if we do learn direct impacts to this program, we will communicate that information to you and your other sub-recipients.
Oh, we'll take it in cash.
Well, I mean, that sucks
Open up
because if
tomorrow
you
with the money
start the
back.
project
You
and then
can't
they
stop,
say you don't
right.
have the money,
I
it's
know.
like, then what?
Yeah, so that particular one, obviously, not a lot of information is coming out. I mean, they're just asking us to proceed. We've sent out and asked for a letter of interest from 4 contractors. We received declining answers from 3. I followed up.
3 out of 4?
Yes.
Boy, we're doing
At
well.
least the 4 local ones that we initially, we are sort of, proceeding and trying to think of other avenues of how to approach this. And this was wrapping the 2 projects together. It would be the library project as well as the Holly Hall project.
Mhm.
So that I reached out to the 4th contractor to try to get more information. We've also engaged and reached out to Tom Shea of Deconstruction Works, and he's going to meet with us. Aiden used to work for him.
Mhm.
And so looking at Holly Hall, we're sort of trying to figure out ways of, okay, so if we can't seem to find a design build group, can we prep it in a certain way that we can bring in a contractor that maybe isn't as big as a design build group, but would still be able to do the work, especially in Holly Hall. So Deconstruction Works essentially would come, they're going to take a look, and they give us a quote on what it would be to tear out the walls following the recommendations from the
Yeah.
report that we got from Vermont Integrated Architecture. So that's one direction. So we're gonna have a meeting here and talk about that. We also discussed the possibility of, and also deconstruction works might do a little bit of tear out at the library as well. It's nowhere near as significant as what this building would be upstairs. We also discussed whether to continue to engage Vermont Integrated Architecture, Asher, who they were hired and paid by the Regional Planning Commission to do the report. He did it very quickly in a couple of weeks. Does the town want to engage him to do further development? So we are paying him to sort of do, look at the designs that they did and do updates to that, and also engage for the library project. And talking to people here, it seems like that might be a direction that we want to take, because it allows us a little bit more control over the project as opposed to relying on a design build firm to do everything and bring in. So we already have a relationship with Asher, but I don't know if the board wishes to sort of send that out to bid or not. We have the option, we don't have to. As I said, we've already had the relationship with them. It seems like a natural sort of approach to just continue with that because they've already done the work. Vermont, and also too, if they're available. Vermont Integrated Architecture has worked on a lot of buildings like Holly Hall and the library in terms of older buildings that need work. And we would engage them to sort of do designs
I wonder how much,
for this building.
I wonder how much the old firm that did this one, that worked with Naylor and Breen, the architectural firm that designed in the new,
Mhm.
if they have all that information still. That was Arnold and Skangus they were at a Colchester.
Well, is it, but they only designed the work, the stuff down here.
They're
right
the
now.
architects.
But for this area, there's
They
nothing
didn't do anything
downstairs.
upstairs.
Yeah,
All they did upstairs was the floor and
Yeah.
support the balcony
yeah,
with new supports all the way down through. That's all we
Okay.
did. We didn't do the roof, but I think there was a report. I could call Rebecca and ask if you
Yeah.
want me to, like, at least ask what information, or do you have any of the report from the old
Sure.
report? That was 15 years ago,
okay.
at least. I just got on board with, they got hired.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked with Asher, we've had multiple meetings with him. I think the work that they've done is very good, and they're very building science focused, which I think was what we really need for this building. And less so for the library, I think, because that's had work done over the years, like insulation. This building really hasn't. And so, we picked the higher cost recommendation from Asher initially because we wanted to do it right and not, hopefully not have issues 10 years from now if we just, drilled and filled the walls, things like that.
I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah, so,
That, you get one blockage inside the wall that, when you do a scan, like a
Yeah.
body, you scan the wall with an infrared gun, you're gonna see cold
yes,
spots.
and that's
where
that's why we're not doing that. We're sort of doing this much
Gotta tear it
larger
out and
approach.
re-insulate.
So, yeah, we're trying to do it sort of in pieces now, trying to work through how much it's gonna be for the budget. But I wanna know if the board would like me to sort of ask Asher to, to continue that the work that he's already started, if they are available, and produce a quote more detailed, and they would also look at the library as well.
Do we know how much that would cost?
No, we would just engage him and just see what he's able to put together. He's gonna have a lot more time now, which is nice. And then from that, we would be able to put that out as an RFP and put it out to bid. And we may not, as I said, we may not need as big an organization to be able to do that if we have the specifics of, we have a company that's doing the tear out and leaving it just, with the framing. And then you have a contractor come in to be able to do the installation work and redo all the walls, things like that.
We certainly want the timing to be right.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
But is this type of project more technical? Like, is there a benefit to having a design build company do both the design and the construction? Or would there be a cost savings?
Potentially.
Yeah.
That's why we sort of did that approach initially, was trying to figure out, can we find someone local? Can we find someone big who would take on two projects of this size? But because we have limited time, the money needs to be spent basically by the end of next year, and companies are already looking out, or companies are telling us that it's just not in their wheelhouse, or they're a certain distance away, so they're gonna be more expensive.
And did you, were you able to talk to Matt at Efficiency Vermont about their list of design build
Right, so
companies?
Matt sent that list because
Okay.
he knew that, he's part of this discussion.
Mhm.
He knew that we were looking local first, but we can go out to that now. I'm just trying to I was worried having 3 people decline,
Mhm.
got a bit scary in terms of, because there's gonna be a lot, because of the MERC money, there's gonna be a lot of towns trying to engage contractors and design build
Mhm.
firms to be able to update their buildings. And so I don't want to get behind. I just wanted to keep momentum
Yeah.
going on it. So reaching out to deconstruction, just because we know that they're a Bristol-based firm that does this kind of work, and this particular building really needs that.
Mhm.
We think that's a good move just to see what that might look like.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, even if you hired a design build, they might subcontract to that kind of company anyway to do that work. They may not be doing the tear out themselves.
Mhm.
And then on the architectural side, at least if we engage with Asher, it allows them to come in, if they're available again, to be able to produce plans for us that we can go out immediately to a contractor instead of having a process of having them come in and doing all the work. So it's,
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm not sure if there's one better way or the other. It's just the availability of people. But I can definitely send it out and go further afield
Right.
and send out what I sent before and try to get this letter of interest to be able to talk about the project.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be concerned about it with the library because that seems like very
No.
straightforward work.
It's straightforward, but it also requires a bit of building science and energy science. So,
Right.
yeah.
And I guess one thing that I've seen when you have the plans done by somebody and then builders come in is that sometimes that process works and sometimes that process
Right,
doesn't
right,
work.
exactly.
And then you've wasted your money for the design.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's not the case because of the experience that VIA has had, both working with local contractors and local design build firms. A lot of people have worked with them over the years, especially in these kind of buildings and locations, so.
Yeah, and I'll be perfectly honest with you though, for the larger contractors, $500,000 job is.
Not a big job.
Right, I mean, that's why we
Sorry,
combined, we combined the two, so it was $1 million, but it was still, I think a lot of them are already booked up, or they're a smaller firm with our local ones that we looked at, which was Silver Maple and Smith McLean, and Naylor and Breen, and they're a little bit bigger.
And they all 3 denied?
Those, there was Vermont.
Construction?
No, Vermont building, I can't remember the name. They're the ones that are based in Chittenden County. They declined, and then we've had Smith McLean said they were just too small. They focus on more housing projects, and then Naylor and Breen said it just didn't fit into their work schedule. So we're waiting to hear back from Silver Maple, and I followed up today. So I'm hoping to get some response. I hope it's in the positive, and then we can start a relationship. And this was just sort of a letter.
Silver Maple's design build.
Yeah.
No, they're not design build.
I don't think
They are now.
Yeah.
They are now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think they.
I'd
used to
rather
be.
go with an architect and if it was a Silver Maple and they both just finished a job for us, started in October. We moved in the 3rd week in February. And because the architect works for the client.
Yeah.
The design build, it's this, it's the fox garden, the hen house, so to speak. And,
Yeah. Well, I can reach out to Asher and just see, I mean, VIA may be available, they may not, depending on what's going on. But at least because he's had some familiarity with the buildings, it seemed like a natural, continue that relationship if they're interested to be able to get us plans. And then look at Matt's list or Efficiency Vermont's list of contractors and start sort of putting it out there.
Yeah, I don't know enough about this to make a good recommendation. It's just also once the job becomes smaller and the design element is gone, then the number of firms that'll bid on it are a smaller group too. I mean, they might have more availability, so they might be willing to do it. I just don't know enough to about this to
I had a
say.
hard time. I grew up graduated with his sister, so I knew him, so it's hard for me to see him in this atmosphere, but
I mean, I think if we talk to them, it'll just be a conversation to see if they're available and then what they might be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be better for us if we have a number or an idea of some kind of
Well,
number
that's what I was
of what
gonna
it's
say.
gonna cost
Meet
us.
with Asher, see if he can give us a quote, what he thinks scoping out this project would be for us.
Yeah, I mean, he's already given it, he already has that, but I think it needs to be updated, and I think if we do go with deconstruction, obviously as they tear stuff out, and we're gonna have to, we'll obviously have everyone in place, we're not tearing it out and be like, oh, wait.
Leaving it for the
We
summer.
haven't got a contract with,
Yeah.
all that'll be in place, but there, obviously things will change as we start to see what's actually behind all the plaster and lath.
Like very old, electrical.
Right, skeletons perhaps, who knows?
Somebody wanted to be buried into the walls.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, by having an architect, you're able to pivot and to change and update things like that, which is nice. So there's the update on that. We have a update on Basin Street. That's moving along. It's been, I'll read from the update. This is from Patrick Travers, who's our project manager for the site. He says, brief update for Basin Street. For the past several months, the project has been in NEPA review, National Environmental Protection Act. This is when the project is evaluated for impacts to the environment, historic buildings, agricultural lands, etc. We're expecting NEPA approval in April. Project is determined to have minimal effects on the environment. Upon NEPA approval, our design engineer, Du Bois & King, will work on the preliminary plans. Plans will then be developed and submitted to V-Trans for review. V-Trans will complete its review in July, return to Du Bois & King with comments. Du Bois & King will draft a set of right-of-way plans, submit them to V-Trans for review and comments in September. 2 months later, November, V-Trans will have completed its review of the right-of-way plans and offer comments. And then, starting December and January 2026, the right-of-way negotiations will start. So
What's
still,
NEPA involved for? They've just disbanded the EPA, didn't they?
so lots going on there.
Water runoff. I don't
Yeah,
know.
lots going on there. Chris Lathrop,
Can,
I saw- yeah.
can those, during the January, February, or February, March, right
For the
away,
right of way stuff.
can that and so-called bidding run side
Happen
by
at the same
side?
time.
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Pat about that.
So we could be ready to go, you know, if
As soon as
the right of ways don't get it done until, you know, first thing of April,
Mhm.
and then we're going out to bid and we're going
Could
into
be all
construction
summer,
season.
right,
But if we could
right.
do it in January, put them side by
Yeah.
side and say,
Yeah, and we're still
we're
looking,
anticipating doing this work soon as we get all the right of ways.
we're still looking for funding for this project.
That's what I'm saying.
We have a lot of funding, but we're still
We're still-
500,000 short.
Sure.
Yeah. So still working for funding on that. I did talk to Chris Lathrop. He had popped in and I talked to him and he was asking about a land that's owned by Adam LaPearl. And I spoke with Adam a couple days ago, maybe it was yesterday.
Up by the redemption center.
Yes, so he owns the land that goes across the road down.
Mhm.
So I don't remember, there's a portion of it that we need access to, I think, because of the project. I don't know how much it is. I have to revisit the plan because I can't remember when we reviewed.
We
it.
need access to it for the Mill Street project?
For this project, for the
Because
basis.
it's gonna
Basin
come over to this.
Adam
side.
owns across the road
Yeah.
from.
Yeah,
the
because I
old
think part of the
Village Gate
design
apartments.
was going onto that land to do something. So
You're talking about the road that comes out on the Mountain Street?
No,
For
No.
base.
Adam owns.
Basin,
with-
Basin Street.
I know where Basin Street is,
you
but
know where
where's
the apartments
Adam?
are,
The land next to the.
next to the bar,
Yeah,
that,
Oh,
that
that's
big drop
Adams?
off.
That's all
Yeah.
Adams.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
but we also
That's
have
what it was.
drainage.
Yeah, right. I
And
know that.
wastewater and
Mhm.
all that going
Yep,
down.
mhm.
So he's interested in selling the land. And it would be whether the town wants to purchase it or not. For
For the-
use for this project
The
or,
apartment building too, or just the?
no, the
Just
land,
the-
yeah. Essentially, it's across the street and down the hill.
Right.
So,
My old saying, all that land is doing is holding the earth together.
I know.
Right.
Barely,
I mean,
if you
barely.
had a lot of money, you could develop it, but you have to bring the grade up an awful lot. If you want it to be level with hatch block.
And
So
you
that
know
was,
what? Next to the hatch block, to the east of the hatch block. When I was in high school, the town owned that section. There's like a 50-foot strip down that goes around the hatch. The town owned that. Cause that used to be a substation
That was
for
substation.
Green Mountain CVPS. There was
Oh,
transformers there, and when they consolidated, got it all up, they gave it to the town of Bristol, and then our forefathers said, well, we won't never use that. And Hatch
Yeah.
wanted to buy it, Ivan Hendy bought it.
Yeah.
Very
So,
little.
so yeah,
Is
we'll
he
have to
going
figure out,
Tell us what he's asking for it, or?
yeah, that'll be
Okay.
part of that discussion.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so now 9:00.
9:00.
Isn't that right on the schedule?
It is.
No,
Good
that's on
job.
the
If we're,
adjournment. We're
okay.
not there yet.
Oh, wait, I was gonna move, okay.
Are you done with your report?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good enough for that.
Other business, correspondence reports of correspondence received.
No,
Okay, no
I
exec,
mean, it was sort of at the Basin
Yeah.
Street and the library.
no
center.
executive session.
No,
Next
Make a motion to
meeting,
adjourn.
next meeting is Monday, March 24th. At
You didn't read 37
6:30.
yet.
well, so we want to decide that.
No,
We made a
I just
decision to
wasn't-
change it to 6 or 7. Do we continue at 6:30 or are we gonna go and move it to 6?
I say we made the motion way back on number,
Yeah,
what,
so
Yeah,
six,
so this one.
so it'll
will
be 6:00.
6:00.
And then the
we'll
April
start at
7th, April 14th will be 7.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Just enough to confuse people.
I know, I know. You
Okay.
guys are gonna have to tell me.
You got that, Jimmy?
All right,
6:00.
now you can do
Make a motion to adjourn.
Wait, April 7th
Second.
isn't on here.
it. All those in favor?
14.
Aye.
Do you know what you're saying, I do?
Yes, adjourning.
Okay.
Any opposed?
No.
Adjourn.
Okay, great.
Okay,
All
done.
right, thank you, everyone.